Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back in the building. Guys, listen. I don't know about no jumper. People hitting me up. Are you fired? Why haven't they had you all week? Give me a one in the comments if you can hear me okay. Give me a one in the comments if you can hear me okay. Hey, can you go to my channel and listen and tell me if you can hear me okay? Okay, anyway. Give me a one in the comments. Okay, awesome. I don't know about no jumper, guys. The thing about the situation is this: no jumper is not like I am not a straight up employee. Like I didn't sign a contract with no jumper. Basically, I am paid by no jumper to be there when they call me. So I don't know. Oh, are you fired? Have they severed ties with you? Listen, bro, we live in California, y'all. If you live in California, one thing you're gonna understand is you don't ever let any single revenue source dictate or have an overwhelmingly huge impact on your bag, right? So when you guys say, are you fired? Look, honestly, every time I'm on there, I say whatever the hell I want to say. I'm very honest about what I think. Some people don't like honesty, okay? I don't minimize myself to make Adam feel smart or to make Adam feel happy or to make Josh or anybody feel smart. There are people who do that at no jumper. I'm not one of those people. It's not in me. I go into the room and I'm going to speak with confidence. I'm going to assert myself, and I'm going to be well read and researched on anything I say. So if you challenge me on anything I say, like Adam does, your ass going to be in there with the phone with Twitter fingers trying to chat GPT while I'm tearing your ass up, pause, and not the way they might like, on the facts, right? That's the way this goes. You guys watch me because I'm me. For me to go in and do anything other than to be me, I feel that is disrespectful to you all, because why would I go somewhere else and have a different energy, right? Just like when I got into it with Suspect. Do you understand that if I would have went in and been anything other than myself with Suspect, that's why so many people are like, bro, you are awesome. I love your poise. You were calm. Because that's the way I've carried myself for years. No one at No Jumper is going to get me outside of myself. Well, if I see areas where I can improve or someone comes with good advice, then I'll take that. But as far as like me trying to change myself to fit into the equation of No Jumper, it's not happening. So if that is something that makes No Jumper not want to bring me on to shows and all that stuff, I'm okay with that. Like when I'm not at No Jumper, bro, I'm at the beach. I'm eating out with my friends. I'm having lunch or breakfast, getting fatter. I might be at the gym, killing myself on the Stairmaster, but I'm doing something productive that's good for me. That's the way it is. But we're not on the Glaze team. We're not on the comparator. I'll do anything to get a job at No Jumper stupidity. Shit's whack, right? We're just 100% real and authentic. We're Defiant. The name of the channel is Defiant with Brandon Tucker. I'm a defiant ass person. As a matter of fact, if you express something that you really don't like about me, I'm probably going to do it more just to show you that I really don't give a damn about you and what you like. You learned it with me and Blue Devil. You learned it with me and Almighty Suspect. You learned it with me and Adam. You learned it with me and Josh, me and Lush, me and whatever. Dude, I don't give a freak. Okay? I don't care. You don't have to like me. I wasn't put here to be liked. As long as the hose is still humping and the pork sword is still pumping, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't care about none of that. I will sell oranges on the side of the freeway before I sit up and let somebody stop me from being me. At the same time, I'm going to be respectful. That's all I can give you. Now, we got some topics today that we really need to talk about. And guys, give me some grace. I am working on attempting to mesh the political uh serious content with, the more fun, entertaining stuff. It's not easy to do that. I feel I am naturally entertaining. I think I'm kind of funny just in my own right, but I do respect the fact that there's a new audience, if you will, that has begun to consume my content. And I never want to be a bait and switch. Oh, I brought you here with this and now I'm doing it. I want to show everybody love. And I believe because, the beauty of who I am and the greatness of the culture and ethnic group that I represent, or the national culture, the American culture. Listen, one thing that America was built on was learning how to have fun at work. And this is like work for me because I feel like I carry a very important message, but I also feel like there's room to have fun while doing it. And we got to talk about this guy, Diddy. Whoa. Diddy is in a crazy situation right now. It's so up and down. No one really knows what's gonna happen. And like, while part of me wants Diddy to be held accountable for whatever he did that may have been illegal, there's also a part of me that's low-key rooting for Diddy because I definitely see the money play where people are taking advantage of him and trying to get a bag off of him. Everybody has buyer's remorse. These young women, they whore themselves out for an opportunity to be in a room with a baller or a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever. And then later on, when, they're past their best years and someone, and the ballers have moved on, and these women or men have not parlayed their access into something that is lucrative for them, all of a sudden they want to go back, claim that they were violated. They want to slander the person who probably gave them the greatest opportunity of their life, all in the name of getting a payday. I don't like that. I hate that to the point where I'm willing to even forgive a little bit of illegality or illegal activity in the name of keeping these people from exploiting the system by pretending to be victims when they, like Cassie, were willing participants. It is my belief that they should remove all financial gain out of the equation when it comes to allegations of SA that have passed 10 or 5 or 10 years. I believe that the only type of case that should be allowed in this situation is a criminal case. I think the civil aspect of the case should have a statute of limitations that does not exceed about 5 years. This is what I believe, because I believe allowing people to retroactively bring up SA accusations, all it does is set the stage for a lot of weaponization of the legal system in a retroactive way. Pretty much you have buyer's remorse. Things didn't work out. Now a consensual relationship suddenly turns into abuse. I hate that more than anything. I mean, I've made sweet love to many women. And to think, God, thank God I have no money, but to think if I ever did one day get money, these chicks could then come back and be like, oh, he touched me inappropriately, or he did this, that, and the other. Ooh, that pisses me off. That pisses me off. That rubs me in a way that I can never be comfortable with. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I hate it for Diddy, and I hate it for any man who's ever been victim to that, because it's such a betrayal of trust. is such a low down, dirty way to interact with somebody. And what I believe, even for the women who many times praise this crap and celebrate this stuff, you don't understand. A lot of our women don't understand the negative impact, the corrosive impact that it has on relationships, even the even potential relationships. You don't know how many men are like, I'm afraid to even pursue a woman in that way because any second this chick can holler grape, right? I mean, there was one girl who was telling me she was uncomfortable with, you know, doing that with a guy she was into because he had cameras in his house. And I said, look, I totally understand, because the way these chicks are coming back 10, 15, 20 years later, talking about they were essayed, every man in America should have several cameras in his house and a couple pointing directly at his bed, because it's not worth it to put yourself in a position where some lady could come back and say, well, I was cool with it all 5,000 times we did it, but on the 5,001st time we did it, I didn't like it. I've heard situations where women said that they were consenting to it, and halfway into the act, in their mind, they felt like they didn't want to do it, and that means that the guy assaulted them. I've literally read cases like that. Did you tell him to stop? No. Did you tell him you were uncomfortable? No. Well, then when did you decide you weren't comfortable? Well, in my mind, I was just thinking, I no longer want to do this. And people have brought cases against people like that. Like pretty soon they're gonna have a camera that you can insert in your wiener so that you can be, so that could be like, remember when you were a kid and you would get on the school bus and they had that little camera in the back called the silent witness? They need to make that for your nutsack. So these chicks thinking they're going to get a quick payday, and you're like, I had the silent witness. It was right there looking at you like a one-eyed monster when you was talking about, yeah, daddy, give it to me harder, slap me and choke me, pull my hair, call me a dirty skank, things like that. It's a very slippery slope that we are on in America, and I honestly think that Diddy is on that slippery slope right now. He's on that slippery slope right now. He's the food. They're othe Everything that they consented to has been criminalized against him. And honestly, I can't say it any other way, but he's fighting for his life right now. But there's some light seemingly at the end of the Diddler tunnel, because apparently the prosecutors in the Diddy case, they are looking into dropping some of the charges against Diddy. Now, does this mean that Diddy is getting off scot-free? No. That just means that several of the charges that Diddy has been charged with, before they begin their closing arguments, they want to drop some of the charges that they leveled against Diddy. And it's probably looking like if they keep those charges against Diddy, he might be found not guilty, because at least some of the charges made against him have not been proven. I really don't think this is cool. I really don't think it's okay. I think the judge should not allow them to do this. And if I'm Diddy, I definitely 100% wouldn't want them to be allowed to drop any charges, because I want, all or nothing. I don't want to drop charges and then they say, well, we dropped those charges, but we can still convict them over these charges. I want it to be as diluted and confusing as possible. I want it to be distorted. I want the jury to go in with total confusion when it's time for them to reach a verdict. If there's any type of explaining or clarification, I don't want that, because that might just be enough for one of the jurors to say, well, you know what? I did think he was guilty of that, but I was hesitant to find him guilty because of this other charge. So overall, I was going to say not guilty. I don't feel they proved this or that. I want there to be plenty of charges where there is a reasonable doubt about whether or not Diddy is guilty. Now, if I'm the prosecutors, I want it to be like, yeah, we might have got a couple of things wrong. Allow us to correct in real time and clarify, our correct, make our correction clear, make our case a bit clearer to the audience, to the jurors, so that they can find it easier to come to reach a verdict on Diddy. So this is like, to me, this is bigger than the Weinstein case. So many ins and outs and turns and unsuspected developments, and this only adds to the entertainment value of it. At the same time, we must realize that there's someone's life that's hanging in the balance, and that is never something that should be taken lightly. That's something that should always be considered with very deep thought and even prayer, because sometimes our legal system gets it wrong. Many times innocent people get locked up for things they didn't do. And while I feel like Diddy is a pervert and a freak, I don't know if I feel like Diddy is a criminal. I don't know if I feel like Diddy is an abuser. I don't know if I feel like that. Did Diddy have some domestic violence issues? Well, yeah, but it was drug addicts beating up on each other. You can go downtown LA and see that play out in real time every single day of the week, right? But do I think the man deserves to spend the rest of his life in prison for mud stomping Cassie in the hallway of the Continental Hotel? No. People do crazy things, especially when they're on drugs. Do I think that should cost him his life? Give him a year, give him 2 years, give him some probation, make him go to some domestic violence and Narcotics Anonymous classes. Yeah. But to spend the rest of his life in jail, this stuff is like Diddy was doing things with underage women or children, right? That's not what's going on here. So I just hope this goes, I hope justice is served, but I really hope justice, is served in a authentic way, not in a weaponized way. Can't stand that. But I'm not the person who can really break down the legality or the legal ins and outs of the situation. I'm going to play this video where someone breaks it down. So if you really want to know and you really want the news, not like no jumper news, but really want the news, I'm here to give it to you. Tap in.
Earlier today, we learned that prosecutors informed the judge they will no longer pursue theories that the hip-hop mogul was involved in attempted arson and attempted kidnapping. This as both sides have now decided to rest their case. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Mackenzie Joy Brennan, trial attorney, back here on the Live Zone. Good to see you, Mackenzie.
Boy, it's always evolving, isn't it? Every time I see you.
I got to tell you, my mouth literally dropped this morning when I heard this on the way in. So let's start with the big story of the day, and that is what I heard on the way in and what you heard me just say. I'll say it again. The prosecution no longer pursuing the theory that Diddy was involved in attempted arson and attempted kidnapping. Why in the heck did they decide to do this?
So I think I've seen some confused reporting on this, and the bottom line is that none of the charges that we're familiar with, so the trafficking of prostitution, 2 counts of that, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and then 1 RICO violation, none of that is gone. So basically, you got to remember that the federal government has an upwards of 90% conviction rate. So they know what they're doing, they know what they've proven, and they know what they haven't. So what they did today in the charging conference was strike some of those predicate acts that were related to the racketeering conspiracy. And if you recall, that had at least two predicate crimes that had to be shown to prove that there's a pattern of crimes committed in this business enterprise. So we saw a lot of evidence of different potential crimes. There was the forced labor with both Mia and Jane, narcotics distribution with Brendan Paul, sex trafficking as a predicate crime, bribery, extortion with both the security guard and Cassie's mother. So there are a lot of predicate crimes on the table. What they took away, because they don't think they've proved these as predicates, are Kid Cudi's arson allegation and the alleged kidnapping charge related to Capricorn Clark when she said that his security guard held her in a building.
All right, so Mackenzie, yet again, you got to put this in layman's terms for folks like me that are just trying to wrap our heads around all of this. So let's say with all the charges that happen to be on the table, and I'm just making a number up so I could better understand this. Let's say he faced 100 years. With
Sure.
what they took away, how, if he's convicted on all counts now, how many years would he face behind bars?
So that's kind of the point. It doesn't change the charges that he's facing. So it doesn't change the number that he may serve. And the number is massive. So he easily could spend the rest of his life in prison. This potentially could impact the judge's discretion in sentencing. But the bottom line is if they prove these crimes, they still prove it even without these stricken charges. So he's looking at...
So I don't know if I need to tell you this, but you guys can all detect the tone in which this woman is speaking. She's trying to seem like she's non-biased or she's unbiased, but she's clearly biased. She clearly is painting this in a way that makes it seem like, well, Diddy's guilty. There's just certain things that they couldn't prove that he did. Guys, listen, if you've ever been on a college campus, everyone knows that women just like her are doing all types of ridiculous sexual activities, getting blackout drunk, getting trains ran on them, and all types of stuff, including but not limited to drug use. Many times when you see people operating in these types of situations, they have a personal stake in it. They know they've done things like this, but they don't want to feel like they're bad people. They know they've done things like this, but they don't want to feel, like they're worthless or like they've been degraded as a human being. So if they do find Diddy guilty, this is like a little victory for many women and some men who have participated in unsavory sexual practices, right? So they're all kind of rooting in a way for Diddy to be found guilty. The thing I'm going to tell you is, despite the federal government's conviction rate, if they drop these charges, to me, it calls into question the validity of their entire case. Because if we can prove, or if Diddy's defense can prove that they were wrong about even one of the charges that they brought against Diddy, there's a possibility that they were wrong about all of the charges that they brought against Diddy. That's what we know. So whenever you have to backtrack or walk things back or eliminate or drop part of your case against someone, now it introduces doubt into the validity of everything else that you're charging this person with. Because if you say, well, we thought he had done kidnapping, but he didn't do kidnapping. Well, as a juror, I'm going to say, well, maybe you thought he did narcotics sales or drug distribution, and he didn't. Maybe you got that wrong too. But you just haven't realized that you didn't really have a good case against him in this area. So anytime doubt because you have to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. And the fact that they're dropping certain charges, it tells me, for me, it casts a lot of doubt for me on the validity of all the charges that they're bringing up against Diddy. And in my opinion, it looks like they threw a bunch of stuff at the wall and prayed that something stuck. So while she sits there and says, well, it doesn't mean they can't get him on this, and that, and this, that, and the third. Well, we just saw the federal government, well, it was the state of Georgia, but it's a RICO still. We just saw Young Thug them get away get off of a RICO charge, right? We're seeing in the age of information that the government can be wrong, and I wouldn't I would say that the chances of the government being wrong are only increasing as we see that the government, the justice system, the DOJ has been weaponized repeatedly against certain individuals, especially under the Biden administration. So I'm not going to take this woman's word at face value, right? Because she's clearly biased. She clearly wants Diddy to lose. So her job is to come in and convince you that, well, even though they were wrong about all this, they could still be right about that. No, bro. If you were wrong about anything, there's a chance that you were wrong about everything. I'm not buying it.
Easily 80 years.
Wow.
And potentially the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad we have you on, Mackenzie. You really clear all of this up for us. Speaking of clearing it all up, a lot of folks saying, hey, if someone said I did something and I know I didn't do it, I would easily stand on the top of a mountain and yell, I didn't do it. In this case, take the stand. Diddy opted not to do that. Why?
Well, I don't know that it was his decision. In fact, when he stood up to say that he would not be testifying, he said, it is my choice. Well, me and my lawyers. And he seemed to have a lot to say, frankly. When he stood up, he thanked the judge for doing such a good job. That to me is a questionable tactic because it struck me as a little bit condescending, but obviously sucking up a little bit as well. He seemed to want to talk, but imagine that cross-examination and what doors it would open into his character and drug addiction and other things that maybe aren't crimes that have come out, but just bad character. It would have been more of a mess than it would have been an assist to the defense. So, they didn't call any witnesses. Anything was a negative for them. So they kind of stayed very quiet.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, but to my count, in all, 34 witnesses took the stand for the prosecution. Is that normal for a case like this? Would we normally see less, the same amount, and or more?
Well, I think to compare it to other cases is tough because this is such a massive scale, and the charges themselves. I mean, look at how many years he's facing. 2 of the charges, it could be 20 years. For the sex trafficking, it's 15 years each. For RICO, it's 30 to life. So for anything of this scale, you're going to see the government lay out their case very clearly. And the federal government is the best at doing that.
The federal government might be the best at doing that, but I didn't see or hear anything in any of the witness testimony that proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Diddy was involved in trafficking. And then when you drop the kidnapping charges, kidnapping is to trafficking what the cone is to an ice cream cone. You can't have an ice cream cone if there's no cone. You can't traffic if there's no kidnapping. So you can tell she's not being unbiased, because these are obvious things that any lawyer would be chomping at the bit to point out. Part of what makes trafficking is the kidnapping part. You're taking them against their will. So you're telling me this person was willingly trafficked? Well, then that's not trafficking. Do you understand? I'm not even a lawyer, and I could see the holes in that argument. To me, the taking the removal of the trafficking of the kidnapping charges that to me eliminates the trafficking charge, especially because these are grown people. So it's not like you could move a grown person from state to state, without them knowing, oh, hey, you didn't you didn't put them in a car and say, hey, I'm taking you to New Mexico. That would be kidnapping. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of like the charges that they're dropping. No, trafficking is kidnapping. You don't know what you're talking about. Trafficking is selling. No, selling is selling. Trafficking is trafficking. Trafficking is the movement part. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why people do that. Trafficking is selling. So if someone sells an apple, they're trafficking. You're goofy. If someone sells an apple, they're now trafficking that apple. No, they're selling. Trafficking is the movement from one place to another one. Trust me, I have plenty of friends who went down from drug trafficking. If you're selling dope on the corner, you are distributing, you are selling. Now, if you're driving that dope from California to New York, you are now traveling. Come on, y'all. Let's be real. This is just common sense stuff. You definitely have to be kidnapped to be trafficked. You definitely have to be kidnapped to be trafficked. If you move a woman from one state to another one, say she goes with you willingly, right? And then she does like sexual acts, right? What they're saying is you're moving this person with the intent of her committing a crime, right? That's what makes trafficking, that's the trafficking portion of like drug trafficking or SEX trafficking. You're moving it with the intention of committing a crime. If you're just driving a woman across state lines, that ain't trafficking. So when you look at the situation with Diddy, they're taking away the kidnapping, right? Now, if he moved a person across state lines to engage in a party that involved, sex, that ain't trafficking. He wasn't telling that person to sell their body to someone else. That wasn't what Diddy's not a pimp. He's a participant. He ain't the owner of the enterprise. He's purchasing. He ain't selling. So I don't even understand. Nothing in any of these testimonies alluded to Diddy selling anything. Diddy was buying. So pretty much everyone has an opinion. That's why the link is in the comments. Come up. We're gonna give this one about 5 to 10 minutes of discussion. Then we're gonna move to our next topic, which is 607 Unc is now talking tough, saying that he would have did this and this and that to 4 extras before extras had 50 Crips with him. That's coming up next, but we're getting into the call-ins for this topic. Let's go, Hot Facts. What's the deal?
What's good, man? What's good, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. This is it's tricky because of there's a lot of industry people. There's a lot of politicians' names that have to be kept quiet. There's a lot of people that could be taken down, and then it starts a whole nother case on other things. And the things that they are dropping necessarily, it's not gonna stop the jail time that they're gonna give him. Like, he's gonna do at least 5 years. Maybe they'll give him some probation, but for him being the nuclei of these parties and orchestrating other gatherings where people are being forced into other things. And I don't want to go real deep into all of that with a lot of these clubs and organizations that people go ahead and get themselves into. But a lot of that stuff is going on. And I think Puffy did enough talking and singing like a canary that they were willing to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and drop at least 3 of these. But we all know that they got the 85 to 90% conviction rate when you're dealing with the feds. So they have things that are significant enough there for him to be going in. Now, I think he told enough to take enough pressure off of him for this stage on what's going on now.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you so much for coming up, bro. Tap back in if you want to comment on the next topic. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
NYC, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you with the sex trafficking thing because, by law is defined by finance, fraud, or coercion. So he spent money and he made promises, and then he's applying pressure to Jane Doe, saying, hey, if you don't do this, then I'm not taking care of whatever it is he was taking care of. I mean, once you start adding pressure, you start going into a gray area, right? And it's unsafe. So when you go into a gray area like that, you can't get upset when they decide to say you violated or you did wrong. You knew it wasn't clean cut all the way. So now when it comes to the consensual thing, these guys that he was paying didn't even know it was him. So we hear the testimonies, you hear that they were nervous. Some of them, I believe, stated that in the interviews after they testified, saying that they might not have done it if they knew it was Diddy. Diddy makes people uncomfortable, bunch of rumors, the Kitty Cuddy stuff, and so on.
So making somebody uncomfortable is a crime?
I mean, if you're engaging in sexual acts, I believe all parties need
when they found out it was Diddy, they had the right to say, I don't want to do it, right?
They might have felt pressured, but they did have the right.
Pressure is subjective.
Oh,
you could feel there are people who feel pressure going to the grocery store. Does that mean now that the grocery store is liable for a crime against them?
No.
Okay, so I struggle to see your logic in this idea that Diddy should be criminally charged because people felt nervous about doing something with him, did not express that, still continued to do it, still took the money, and now later they're not saying he did anything criminal to them. They're just saying they felt nervous.
It might not have been done to them, but a crime was committed. You did pay.
What was the crime?
Purchasing the prostitution there.
Purchasing sex is a misdemeanor. We talking about federal crimes. Purchasing sex is punishable by 30 days in jail or a fine.
Maybe state-wise. I don't know what the federal guidelines say.
But the thing, what I'm telling you is he did not go out of state with the intention of purchasing sex. And even federally speaking, purchasing sex is not a major offense.
Maybe so. I have to look into that. But they did mention that a lot of people are very confused about how the sex trafficking laws go. And they did mention that it is a very complex thing. Now, I don't think the feds will come and waste their time for nothing. So, we always hear they don't come and get you unless they know they got you. So
from what I'm seeing is it really gets you if the person is underage. But if you knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, or maintain a person for a commercial sex act, either through force, fraud, or coercion. So if you force them to do it, that is when you are entering the criminal realm. Diddy didn't force anyone to do anything. And even you can admit that. They even admitted they were willingly doing it.
Most of the time, but they did state that there was some unconsensual. There were times
if you cross state, if you've had sex with me once and you've crossed state lines before to have sex with me, and when I hit you up and I've never hit you up for anything else, and you cross those state lines and then have sex and get paid, no one forced you. People don't tend to force people to have sex and then pay them.
But that's that gray area I was talking about.
I don't think it's gray at all.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's gray at all.
You got to get consent every time, bro, to really cover.
And the consent was given when that person said, "I will do XYZ for this much money."
You cut out.
The consent was given when the person said, I will do XYZ for money. The consent was given when the person said, yes, I will get on a plane and come to your party at this place to do what I always do when I go to your parties.
Well,
That's consent.
Well, they're both wrong then. I mean, it's 50,
I don't feel like either one of them are wrong. I feel like they're doing something that people do every single day. I think it's only a thing because it's Diddy.
I mean, as far as the law goes, yeah, we might see that there might not be anything morally wrong or whatever, or that's what people do, that's the norm. But by law, yeah. So
by law, what makes it wrong is if it's forced. From what I just read. But I could be wrong. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yo, administrator, what up, my G? Unmute yourself, brother. Attorney Tyke.
Yo.
Unmute yourself. Not you, Hazy. Oh, dang, he fell. All right, Hazy, you up. What up, Hazy?
What up, bro? I just like what you just said, how you said it's only hitting Diddy, right? Because why ain't these athletes and shit getting hit with the sex trafficking?
It's coming.
You think so?
Diddy this will set precedent. All the little thought boxes who've been getting flued out, believe me, who ain't got no motion, right? All the Mariah Mills and stuff, they will start retroactively bringing up cases against people who flew them out. That's all this is about. They're trying to open Pandora's box when it comes to these chicks who got flew out and now regret it.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, with that, why the fuck wasn't Hugh Hefner ever brought down with this type of shit? Because everybody knew what he was doing. Politicians do this shit still. Politicians, bro, everybody know Donald Trump playing. Everybody know his first term, he was having shit fly out to him, all this shit. I feel like they only bring in the sex trafficking and shit like that is for the black dudes that's doing, or I'm not going to say they doing too much, but when they trying to step out of line, that's when they get hit with it. Because all this shit started with Jack Johnson. But then you see when Bill Cosby came, he tried to buy the CBS network and all this shit. Now they hitting him with this weird shit, like he was drugging women and all this shit. And then now Diddy.
And they ended up having to let Cosby out.
Mm-hmm.
They convicted him on a technicality. And they end up having to let bro go. And the cool thing with the Cosby thing that a lot of people don't know is they didn't get Cosby for giving the lady Quaaludes. They got Cosby for giving the girl Tylenol. That's the craziest thing. But this is what it means to have the justice system weaponized against you, where they're literally trying to, like, the law has to be, have some type of, compass. Yes, someone might do something that's illegal, but what they're doing may technically be illegal, but something can be illegal yet be justifiable, right? Someone breaks in your house, you kill them. Well, technically that's murder, but really that's a justified murder. You murdered that person because they were breaking in your home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think people need to realize. Something can technically be illegal, but be justified, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think here Diddy did anything illegal. I think Diddy was just a guy who had the money to carry out every fantasy he ever had. I don't think Diddy was in a position where he had to SA anyone. Pretty much, if you got $500, you can live out some fantasy. Go pick up a chick off Figueroa, and she's damn near gonna do whatever you want, right? For her to then come back.
Did you think that they was really going to keep Diddy for all this time? Like he was going to get the 30 and all? Do you think they was really trying to keep Diddy, or was this just a humiliation tactic?
I mean, he's not out of the woods yet. Mm-hmm. He didn't they didn't drop all charges. They dropped some of them. So the prosecution of the defense, they made their closing arguments today and they rested their case. So now we're waiting the verdict. So let's not, jump the gun. But I don't even think it was a humiliation ritual. I think they were legitimately trying to get Diddy and put him in jail for the rest of his life.
So what do you think they could take Diddy down for then? Still.
Probably domestic violence. But like
that's not even a charge on his case, though,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. That's past the statute of limitations. I only think they could get Diddy for like a civil suit, kind of like they did OJ. OJ was found not guilty, but they still got him on the civil side. He still had to pay the Goldmans millions of dollars. To this day, I still don't understand how you can be found not guilty, but then be found civilly liable. So I believe he might be found not guilty on the criminal charges, but I do think they might still get him on the civil liability. Don't ask me how that works, but they've done it, you know. And at the end of the day, this is all a money play.
So I was about to say, so you think with the civil, if they hit him with the civil, he gonna have to pay bread or he's still gonna have to do jail time?
Oh no, the civil is only payment. You don't do jail time for civil suits.
So she can get another civil suit even though she already had one?
Oh yeah, of course. Because the money, the 30 mil he gave her was just between them, right? That was like them making a personal settlement. That wasn't even legal. She can still hit him with a civil suit and get 100 million. Cassie is walk laughing all the way to the bank.
I feel that one.
And I wonder if there's anything in her that feels remorse for doing this to Diddy, knowing that she was participating in all this stuff willingly.
And her husband made her do that shit, man. And then now he got to sit there with the embarrassment and listen to how his wife got her mouth peed in and all that shit.
Listen, man, he ain't giving a damn. He rich as hell. He gonna be around people who don't even know nothing about this case.
All right, Brody, I'm gonna hop back on when you talk about the 607 shit.
Appreciate it, bro. Have a good one. Administrator, what up, my brother?
What up, bro? How's it going?
Chilling, man.
Same. Man, it looks like so far, you know, when we talked about this last time, we was back and forth, but the way it's shaking out on the technical side, it seems like you're shaping up to be correct about this stuff. I do believe that it looks like the prosecution is, you know, that high conviction rate is probably because of shenanigans like this, which is now looking like a pretty checkered 90% track record. If you know what I mean, they just like they dug their hole too deep, and now they're trying to put some dirt back in it. You know what I mean? Trying to fill it back in a little bit. I think they're like, and this is my opinion because, you know, this isn't what's being talked about in the case and stuff like that. I think they're sitting pretty because the real crime, the real RICO is the blackmail for bad contracts situation. But none of the artists are willing to really go there. I think that's where the real crime is, because that's dealing with contracts and things like that. That's where pressure to sign contracts and things, that's where the law can step in on stuff like that. And and if you find out he has videotapes of them, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, that's where I think the real crime is. So I think he's not even tripping. He just wants to be out of jail because he's a drug addict.
Right. He wants to go get high.
Yeah, but they just sitting through this, waiting for this to pass. He might get hit with some stuff. They'll appeal and all that stuff if worse comes to worse. But the real crimes are swept under the rug because that's the real RICO. That involves other people when it comes to these contracts.
No, seriously. Man, it's rough, man. I only could say I want Diddy to get off because of what this could mean for, you know, men, you know, going forward. Beyond that, I really couldn't care less. But this Diddy trial is definitely going to set some precedent, and it's not going to be good for men, you know, especially men who like fly women out. And I really don't think it's going to be good for relationships. But in this country, you know, this is kind of what they want. They want men and women feeling like they're afraid of each other and they can't deal with each other unless it's in a transactional way. But now they're even criminalizing the transaction. And if you look at a lot of these females they're moving in a direction where they're making their relationships more transactional. So ladies,
I mean, we're already recording, right?
So ladies, if you guys are like, I want me a rich dude and he got to do this and this for me, I'm not going to give him the time of day. Understand the precedent that's being set and how the precedent that's being set is going to affect that. Because now dudes are going to be like, look, I'm not giving you crap. Because if I give you $1, you could come back in a decade and say, this was a sex trafficking ring and I did all this to you and it was a transactional thing. It's just the way it is. This is just the way it is. So just understand, be careful what you wish for. And like they always say, the same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. Hey guys, does anyone have the link to that conversation between Wack 100 and 607 Unc? I saw it on Instagram earlier, but I can't find it. I can't find it. Hey, moderators, can y'all get Elisino out the comments? If you bored, nigga, why are you here? Oh yeah, thank you. He's out. Let me help you. You're so bored. I deleted you from the branding universe. Now you can go watch nothing, or whatever. Go watch a documentary. Yes. Yeah, go. You don't have to if you don't want to. I don't feel comfortable making such a beautiful woman cook. You're not gonna get me on a Diddy charge later. He trafficked me to cook. Made me cook in his house. Nah, go ahead. You fine. Shut your ass up. I know what you meant when you said that. Look, sorry. But anyway. Sorry about that. That was a little sidebar. Anything else, my guy Attorney Tyke?
Nah, you good, man. You good. We're going to the next topic.
Oh, yeah. We going next topic. All right, we're going to cycle you back in, all right? I'm going to put the link in again.
For sure.
All right, thank you, brother. Hey, I'm doing it like that because, man, y'all, when we get Maggie said hi. She said, hey, girl. Anyway, so the whole thing is like, when I had all y'all up here before, y'all talking over each other. So I'm going to do it like that so we can get through the topics. And then at the end, I'll let people come back up and y'all can go crazy for all I care. Okay, so there's this situation with 607 Unc. He got punked by 4 extras. We know that. I'm actually going to play the situation that happened between him and 4 extras because I want everybody who may not have seen it, which I know all you guys have seen this. But I'm going to play it again so that you guys can see how 607 Unc was acting. And then we can compare and contrast that to how he's all of a sudden, 607 Unc I'm talking about, to how all of a sudden this guy is so tough. He's like, oh, 4 extras, this and that. Like, he's just like, I just can't believe it that this guy was such a coward. And now that he's quit No Jumper and he's safe, far away from No Jumper, now he's calling out 4 extras, talking about if his guys were there, this wouldn't have happened, and all this kind of crap. Bro, listen, if 4 extras brought 50 people from 40 Crip, not saying he did that allegedly, I don't care. I mean, you would have had to fly some dudes in from St. Louis to deal with that. So my thing is, why talk tough now when the deed has already been done? That's my question. Why talk tough now when the deed has already been done? I can't stand people like that. The time to talk trash was when he was standing in front of you. And I honestly think if you had stood up to 4 extras and talked your shit to his face, I honestly think 4 extras would have had some respect for you because he already knows he'll kill you. Like, not saying kill you literally, but he already knows he could whoop your ass. So at the end of the day, when somebody stands up for themselves, who basically you could beat them up and they know you could cream them, you have no choice but to respect that person for keeping the same energy, Even with the Almighty suspect situation, Almighty lost respect when he brought a weapon. If Almighty would have fought me and got beat up, people would have said, well, at least he stood on his shit and he was willing to, get it up with whoever. And even I would have had a level of respect for him. But when you talk about somebody bringing a weapon or someone basically cowering and then trying to come back later and talk tough, you're just not doing yourself any favors. What you're really doing is you're exposing yourself, right? You're exposing yourself as I would say a fake thug. I mean, you got Hoover tattooed on your body, but you let some dude who technically I guess is an enemy of the Hoovers as far as I know, basically punk you out. I mean, yes, 50 of them in there or whoever in the other room, but at the same time, what he did to you, like, it was disrespect as a man. He disrespected you as a man, but he only did it because you disrespected him first. You disrespected him as a man, and then he disrespected you as a man. Only difference is when he got in your face, you weren't keeping that same energy. That's the difference. And I just think you're a coward for that. And now it doesn't matter what you say or how you try to spin it, because we know you're good at being a spin artist. You got punked, and then you went even before you went beyond getting punked. He ran you up out the building, bro. You could have told Adam, hey, I just don't want to be here when he's here. Hey, don't sit us at the same table. Dude, he ran you out the whole no jumper. And at the end of the day, I feel like you let your fans down. You let the people who watch you down. You got a whole army who like your crackheaded ass. They love you. You let them down because you were scared. I mean, if I got people who support me, I'm not letting nobody run me off stage because they aggress against me. I just really don't understand that, bro. I think you should show up to 40 Hood and just demand the fade from 4 Extras at this point. Fuck it.
I want them to interview you.
Get the shit beat out of you. And I think you'll be a god. You'll be a god in social media. You'll be a god in LA. You go to 40 Hood and demand the fade from 4 Extras and let him beat the shit out of you. He probably wouldn't even beat you up. But bro, you'll be a legend. I will freaking call you big dog for the rest of my life if you did something like that, but you only got 24 hours to do it. But we know you won't do that. You're a St. Louis Hoover, and you ain't making St. Louis Hoovers look good at this point. I'm just going to put that out there. You're making your city look real bad.
And for my motherfucking home team. So when you get on here,
and I am too, I'm telling you,
when you run into
I'm for you too.
I don't do the content. You doing the content on the wrong nigga.
No, I'm for you on content, and I'm for you on the streets. I'm for you for real, gang. That's what I'm telling you.
Listen,
he said, I'm for you in the content, and I'm for you on the streets. I'm for real, gang. What does that even mean? So you the same dude in the content as you are in the streets. Well, go to Inglewood and say the S word, since you the same dude. Tell 4 Extra he gay and he like going to the jail to get his booty played with right now while he's standing in front of you. You're not going to say that. If you're from Cali like me, we've all been around people who they going to crack jokes, and if you try to fight them, they'll beat you up. A real comedian, a real roaster, he would have still been roasting 4 Extra's ass. Even while he was standing over him, he would have been roasting his ass. Hey, listen, let me ask y'all all a question. When I was going in on Almighty, cracking jokes on him and all that, when Almighty stood up and was talking this shit, did I stop cracking jokes? I was still cracking jokes on him. I still was going in on him. When I was right there, I was like, you're still a bitch. You still got punked out and put off BPS. Because guess what? Just because you're getting mad doesn't mean I'm going to stop roasting you. As a matter of fact, once you start getting mad, that means I got you right where I want you. And Donnie, he was flaming me on some of the jokes. He was. I give him that. But here's the difference. I didn't get mad about it. That's it. I didn't lose my temper over a bunch of jokes, right? 4 Extras, here's the difference. Me and Almighty were shooting jokes back and forth. 4 Extras ain't never said a single joke about 607 Unc. 4 Extras ain't never said a single joke about 607 Unc. You got beside yourself thinking shit was all play. Really, like a lot of out of town dudes, they be thinking LA dudes is soft, bro. Like, don't get it twisted. A lot of dudes from out of town think LA dudes are soft, and they got to get taught a very hard lesson. And that's what happened here with 607 Unc.
Try to get you see.
First they telling you some bullshit talking about, oh, well,
I don't know why.
you tell 4 Extras, I'm putting your ass out. Let that be known. Can that camera see me? Hey, over there, can this camera see me? While I'm standing up, or do I need to sit down?
This nigga crazy.
Do I need to sit down?
He
Do I need to
crazy.
sit down?
He
I'm telling you
crazy.
right now, nigga.
He crazy.
Do it on me, nigga. I'm gonna knock this out.
No, I don't want to get knocked out, gang.
I'm pulling him out.
I don't get knocked out,
I
gang.
tricked him, yeah. I tricked his ass, yeah. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I want the motherfucking views with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the motherfucker. Yeah, book it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go. I want him to interview me. Now I got you.
But I love you, though. But you know that before you got here? That I love you.
No, the only thing I do that I got here is make sure to knock your ass out as soon as I walk up and holler at you.
You ain't got to knock me out. You ain't got to do that, gang, because I love you. Listen, so we understand. We understand the difference. We understand you was going to knock me out, and we understand that we had a conversation.
You know what? Because as I'm getting here, what's the name? Cause you feel the love.
I'm glad you feel the love. I mean, do you feel it now? Cause like this.
I mean, I feel like it's like four extras laughing. He's laughing. He's laughing at you. You're trying to make it funny. And it was funny a little bit what you said. He even laughed. How you going to turn around and say that this dude was trying to kill you when he's sitting there laughing at your horrible jokes? This is what I'm saying. Either this got to be a play or you just using this as an opportunity to try to like launch into your own stuff. But I'm trying to find a video where Wack 100 and him were talking. I cannot find it. I know y'all know where it is. Y'all follow everything No Jumper do. It's the one where they're in the split screen. And Wack is talking. 100 calls 607. I don't know where this video is. Damn. If y'all got the link to that video, please help me out. Please help me out. Because it's a great video, but in the video, 607 Unk is like talking tough. I see Wack on a. Hold on, let me see. Oh, here we go. I got it. I got it right here. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this was a good conversation because this is where 607 started trying to act up. If my guys was there, let me tell you something. If your guys was there, they wouldn't have did shit. Trust me. If I showed up there with 10 dudes from 20 Crip and it's 50 dudes show up from 40 Crip, it ain't much we gonna be able to do. Be realistic. Be realistic. Unless you fly out 50 dudes from St. Louis, you know, there wasn't much that was going to be able to be done, guy. Like when you say outlandish shit, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. That's like you saying you would have jumped up and beat up 4 extras, bro. The likelihood of that happening is zero. I would never put my money on you versus 4 extras. I didn't even listen. What you guys got to understand is I don't watch the 100 show. I don't watch none of that. So I'm not familiar. I thought Wack was only on Clubhouse. But now that he's on this, I'll subscribe to him. I don't watch. Guys, I watch the news. I watch history, historical stuff, political content. I don't watch this. But I realize that I have a segment of my audience that really enjoys this. So I'll do commentary on it. And it's going to be the best damn, most honest commentary you've ever got on it. So you should watch it over here because it's going to be unfiltered and I'm not going to be kissing nobody's ass, especially Wack's ass. Pause. I just treat everyone the same. I give respect until you give me a reason not to.
Hit the sub button.
Them damn glasses on.
Thumbs up button. Let's see what's going on, man. Let's see. Me and Unc been having conversations, man, and we've been having some real good conversations. I don't know what happened. I know yesterday the brother called me. Actually, no, I called him.
You know
That
exactly
was a
what
different
happened.
kind of dude. You gotta like really be able to kind of like go there on a higher level of thinking to understand the brother on what he trying.
Hey, hands down, 607 Unc got to be top 5, one of the ugliest niggas in America. And it's not even close. He's top 5, one of the ugliest Negroes in America. I would bet my life on it. It don't get much uglier than that, bro. He's right up there with Chris Rock on New Jack City.
Trying to do, and he's entering uncharted waters. And you know, when you doing shit like that, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna slip, you're gonna do things that other people might not understand. And I had a conversation with the brother last night. I believe I called him, and I went to sleep and woke up, and then Adam was making an announcement, right? So I'm like, okay, something must have happened between the time I talked to 607. Because I told him stay his course. I said, look, stay your course.
My thing, I never played with Crips. I played with extra. I said the carrot joke that Adam said, and he brought the Crips to come do something with me out of his own thing. I love LA. I understand you can't play with the game. We had the conversation.
Well, here go the thing, 607, and I want to clear a few things up.
You was talking about the man going to jail to get his booty stretched. You said, Wack, you need to see his booty hole. What you mean you never played with the Crips? You're playing with the Crips when you got Hoover tattooed on your body and you talking about I'm 60 and I'm Hoover. That's playing with the Crips. Because if you know the 60s and the Hoovers don't get along in LA, you shouldn't even get on camera saying no stuff like that. Because it's people who didn't die behind this stuff. You was definitely playing with the Crips. It's just that the other Crips didn't have the access to you that 4 Extras had. And Adam, you're saying he backdoored you. You probably like that in a certain context, but you're saying he backdoored you. But I hit Adam up. I said, hey, did you set 607 Unc up? He said, hell no. Nah. And I don't think Adam would even do that. You just thought as long as you got the mythical white man in the room with you, black dudes ain't never going to be able to do nothing to you as long as Adam is there. But you better go watch that Almighty Kelpie video. Adam is not jumping in to save you, especially from 4 Extras. But we know how Negroes operate in other states. Y'all think that as long as there's a white man in the room, you could say anything you want. It's like how women get when the police are around. They turn up and go extra, say things they would never say if they were in a room with you alone, right? That's what you was doing. And you proved it because when Adam didn't show up to that sit down, you were scared. He said, I'm going to knock you out. Please don't knock me out. You might have tried to pass that off as a joke, but that was for real.
4 Extras didn't bring nobody to do nothing to you because if he did, they'd have did something to you, right?
He told me I was going to die if I said something. He said, you say something?
But see, hold on. Okay, now hold on. See, and I've had this problem before. When you are doing your thing to grab somebody's attention, remember we talked about this. You will do some shit to get their attention and then you will deliver the message, right? And I understood it. So,
and that whole thing, he said he was going to kill me. That's snitching. He know this shit about to be all over YouTube. He know this about to be all over social media. That is low key. That's high key snitching. And if I was 4 Extras, I would be very careful because this dude he seems like the type of dude who will try to say stuff online, get you caught up while purposely snitching on you to the police and then come back and say, I never snitched. I never said nothing. Why would you say that online? Now we know this is all alleged, but why did you need to say that? To me, that came off to me like straight up dry snitching. Let's listen to it again because it kind of came out of nowhere.
See, and I've had this problem before. When you are doing your thing to grab somebody's attention, remember we talked about this. You will do some shit to get their attention and then you will deliver the message, right? And I understood it. So you gonna do it one way, 4 Extras gonna do it another way.
No. Listen, if we in the streets, tell me we in the streets and I come with my gun. Don't tell me we doing a podcast. You come with all your gorillas.
Okay, well let me ask you something. Let me ask.
But I thought he said he already had his gun. In another video, I heard him say he had his gun at the interview. I mean, who would go to No Jumper without their gun? That's my question. You know, you're a hood dude. It's all these hood dudes up there. You're showing up without the strap, without the blicky. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I watched the video. I actually played the video before we started this, part of it. Anyway, I'm not replaying nothing. But what I'm saying is, bro, you said you had your gun. And so you're only a gangster when you got your gun. So what you gonna do when you go to jail and you don't got a gun? Bro, you got to stand up as a man regardless. Some dude talking about, I'll kill you. Well, nigga, do it. It won't be with your hands. You better. Yeah, I hope you brought a gun because you're gonna need it. Bro, it's people who stood in the face. Like, if you go to LA County Jail and you could be in a dorm full of ops, if they like, we need the fade, you got to take that fade, bro. And dudes have done it. I'm sure Munchie B has done it. He's not much bigger than you. Bro, just say you was scared, my nigga. Stop making excuses.
That ain't pressing.
Let me ask you something. St. Louis, New York, LA, it's the same. Did nobody touch you? Am I right?
Right. In St. Louis, that never would have happened.
No. But what I'm saying is nobody touched you. See, here goes the thing, and I want you to
nobody touched me because I humble myself. If I was saying anything out of line, they would have did whatever they did to me.
They weren't. No, they weren't. No, they wasn't. I'm gonna listen. Listen to me. You see how you say Wack?
Man, 607 Unc just thinks he's way more important than he is. They would have did this to me. First of all, it doesn't take they to. I'm pretty sure my daughter could beat up 607 Unc. I would bet that she could beat his ass. And I'm not saying that lightly. But I'm saying I'm pretty sure she will whoop his ass. That's how small he is. Unc this type of dude who will get beat up by his girlfriend if she's bigger than him. He's not big at all. He's very tiny and looks a little bit disabled, by the way. I'm talking about scrawny as fuck. So why? No. Stop, Maggie. She can't whoop everybody. But his little ass, he's little, bro. He's smaller than Maddie. Maddie outweigh this dude, and she's small. I'm telling you, Unc even said he weighed 100 pounds. He literally said he weighed 100 pounds. And he's not lying. He might weigh 103. Super midget rooster, styrofoam weight, if he was a boxer. This guy, okay. This guy is 103. My daughter's like 189. But she's pretty tall. She's super tall. But yeah, no, bro. Like, he's tiny as fuck. Yeah, he weighs less than Maddie. That's what I'm saying. Why does he keep talking as if it takes 50 Crips to beat him up? Oh, that would have never happened in St. Louis. Da-da-da-da-da. He got a 300 pounds man's nose too, and forehead and lips. This nigga head is the biggest thing on his body. This would have never happened in St. Louis. Nah, because the nigga probably would have killed you for saying what you said about him if he was in jail. Let's be real. Listen to me. He's saying that this would have never happened in St. Louis. You're right, because if you did to somebody who's a reputable in St. Louis what you tried to do to 4 extras, they would have murdered you. Let's be real. Am I lying or am I telling the truth? So don't say this. This would have never happened in St. Louis. We know, because you know in St. Louis, they coming with the blick. You know in St. Louis, it ain't going to be no words exchange. 4 extras gave you respect as a coworker. He didn't pull a knife on you like Almighty did me. He told you, hey, don't play with me like that. And that's his right as a man to do that. And you just showed that you a hoe by trying to take it beyond what it was. Everybody saw the same thing. Even when Adam said it to Munchie B and him, they said, oh, man, he was just playing. He was playing for real. We all know he wasn't serious because he was laughing with you. but you probably feel threatened. Something I want to tell y'all about 607 Unc. Unc is a very competitive dude. He understands the dynamic of No Jumper. He understands that there are other dudes at No Jumper who are getting attention, and that attention takes away from his attention, right? That's fine. This is a play to eliminate 4 extras. That's all this is about. He wants to eliminate 4 extras one way or another, because when it comes to who's comparable to him in views, it's 4 extras. And honestly, if I'm Adam, I'm leaning more on the side of 4 extras as to who I'm going to keep, because honestly, 4 extras has been a draw longer than Unc. Unc is drawing numbers, but I'm not going to lie. Unc did the news and all that. The numbers were the same. So there's a specific audience that connects with Unc, just like there's a specific audience that connects with me, right? But Unc is like, no, I want to be the premier guy at No Jumper. It's you can see it. You can see it. Even when he was talking shit about me. Oh, he ain't here no more. He fired. We fired him. Let's fire his ass. We know, Unc. We know. We get it. But to do what he's doing right now, he said he was gonna kill me and all. That's wrong to do. That's wrong to do. And the link is coming, guys. Let's play this a little bit more.
I come a certain way to get their attention, then I deliver the message. And I remember I finished your sentence. Right. I said, then you deliver the message. Okay.
I delivered the message.
Okay. You and 4 extras, 2 different people. He came a certain way, and then he delivered. When I'm looking at the interview, y'all started conversing. And I think at the end of it, he said something to the extent, I understand you now. Right?
Yeah, he said that.
Okay. And I think you was letting him know, look, I come with the blue rag. I don't ever be playing with no Crips. I understand you too. So what I'm saying is, I think you got a little insight of the other side of how even me used to see you when you was doing and saying shit to understand. Bro, I called you and said, yo, I get you now. Did I not? I called you.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Before, I used to be a little bothered with you, right? I think, bro, this is my gripe with you. You cannot give up. You're not a quitter. The shit you doing ain't nobody did. Nobody's done it, right? So your first little kink in the road, you supposed to expect when you come in dealing with ignorance, trying to shed a light with some intelligence, you supposed to expect some BS gonna come with it. But even with that, nigga, you still didn't get touched, which means you still got your point across to say, I'm all of them, and I'm here to deliver a message.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, 4 extras,
I totally understand what Wack is saying, but the thing is, you're delivering a message, but you're criticizing people, you're making fun of people, you're sex playing people, and you're doing it at very serious times in their life. Y'all might think, oh, this dude called in from jail, he was turned up, he was laughing, he was joking. Guys are dealing with very stressful situations, and the last thing they need is, while they're dealing with something stressful, is some dude who has his freedom making fun of them. Now, you could say anything about forces. Okay, I'm gonna give you a prime example. There's this kid named Flock 2 Ball, right? Flock 2 Ball on Instagram. Go subscribe to that dude if you haven't subscribed already. This kid is super talented. He made a video about me and Almighty. Dude, I almost fell out of my chair laughing at it. Flock 2 Ball makes fun of everybody in this whole space, right? In this whole area of YouTube and social media, right? But he does it in a respectful way. And in my opinion, he's way funnier than 607 he makes fun of P4K, the dude from the Blackstone Gorillas, right? Those dudes are some serious guys. They're not joking around. They're not playing around. They in the shit. Let's look at how he makes fun of them. And let's see if he disrespected them.
FMP from BPS. Okay. Big Nina boy from 69th Street. Ran that little nigga 10 phase divided by 2. That little nigga sauce ain't do shit. Put that nigga off. Cookies with the blend. Swear to God is fucking up my call. 4 extra on J side. Stop lying to these people. Gonna get down or lay down 4 extra. Cause you talking all this tough shit.
How do you feel about the Tupac situation, bro?
Shit, J side did what J side did. He killer gonna squabble, but on jungles I'm trying to shoot. On the red homie 4 extra, I know you need that no jumper check when you ain't never seen Baby Stone. Adam paying you, I don't know how much to speak on BPS. Stop speaking on that. LA County Jail, if you ain't squabble, you was a dork. Cause I'm finna be in the Bounty Jail next week. Hey, where you from, homie? Right, FMP from BPS. Okay. Big Nina boy.
He makes fun of Almighty right here.
Late nights with the gang, we got no sleep. 8 shots, no Yeezy was 4 deep. You can ask in these streets, bet they know me. Hey, but I'm gonna keep that shit low key. Big ass straps, no Yeezy was 4 deep. Cartoon slip and smoke one, now his bro sleep. Thank you. You're mad. I ain't feeling like myself. To fuck with me, you gonna need help. Let a nigga say my name. I bet his ass gonna get the belt. Hey, you already know who it is. It's the big face Gerber, the silver splurger, whatever you want to call me. Just so my fans know, I'm not in no motherfucking PC. Yeah, for the.
Okay, he's making fun of Almighty. He's making fun of P4K. He's making fun of everybody. Tommy Guns. He's not being disrespectful about it. He's not insulting them, not calling them. Like me, I insulted Almighty. I had a picture and I took it in the grocery store when I heard that he might be out of jail. I didn't post it. I forgot. But I had the 2 jars of Skippy peanut butter, and I said, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. But I forgot to post it, y'all. Because, the whole peanut butter situation. And then on top of that, he's out of jail now. So then I was like, I'm going to have to do the peanut butter thing. But it was a joke. Now, I'm more openly disrespectful towards Almighty because I got into it with him, right? Whatever. I don't like him. He's a bitch, period. But what I'm saying is that guy's making funny content, which is absolutely hilarious, and he's being respectful. 607 is an attention seeker. He's not even a comedian. He's just a person who's damn near willing to do anything for attention, and it's backfiring on him. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this. We got some people, one person in the back. The link is in the comments. So if you want to comment on this situation, the link is there. This is a call-in show. I told y'all it's a call-in show. Fuck it. I suggested No Jumper did this. They didn't want to do it, so now I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the call-in response to No Jumper freaking universe shit stuff. Let me stop cursing. No Jumper universe stuff. And if the fans, y'all want to have something to say about it, y'all got an opportunity to jump in and comment on this. I'm going to play about 1 more minute of this, and then I'm going to let the callers say what they want to say.
He did in his way what you do in your way. It took me months to understand you. Nigga, you had me doing 150 miles per hour on the freeway trying to catch your ass at one time. Let's be real. But then that went to Wack calling you saying, I understand you. I see what you're trying to do. Because I always say the flow of traffic gets no attention. But a head-on collision, everybody looking. So what you do, you come with everything that makes everybody say, look at this crazy dude. Look what he's saying. Look at him looking in the air. Look what he's saying. And then out of nowhere, you deliver a message.
Right.
Okay. 4 extras came up there deep. Nobody touched you, but it got your attention. And then he delivered the message. Now you got to remember, that's big for him because nephew coming out them jails, this is a new thing for him. You light years ahead of him when it comes to your demeanor and you keeping calm. he's naturally high strung. But if it was gonna be something, it wouldn't have been in the building. You would they'd have waited outside. He came in the building to get your attention. He told you when they called him.
Right, but listen, one thing, if I was with my people, he wouldn't have did that. He wouldn't have did that. He would have walked to that door and did nothing. That's what I'm saying. So
no, that's
he
not true.
Did that.
That's not true.
I swear to God, he would have did that.
Listen.
He wouldn't even
St.
try
Louis,
that.
listen, St. Louis niggas and West Coast niggas.
See, and this is where I'm saying, bro, is acting tough. Oh, if my guys was there, he wouldn't have did that. He wouldn't, bro, what are you talking about? He's on his home turf, LA. Why wouldn't he have done that? He probably would have done worse than that if you had some people there. Because he would have probably felt like, yo, I got to make an example. And man, he wouldn't have did that, bro. You're clearly not from California. You're clearly not from California. If you think you bringing 3 or 4 dudes is going to stop some real gangsters from doing anything they're going to do. When I was back banging and stuff, you think because you had 2 dudes, man, listen. I'm not even trying to toot my own horn. Bro, when I used to go to Long Beach City College, some Samoans came up to the school because we used to tease these girls from this club. It was a club called, what was that club called? It was some sorority or some crap. But we used to tease these girls all the time because they liked us, but we wouldn't mess with them and stuff. So they was messing with some Samoan dudes from somewhere. I think it was from Carson. Bro, 6 Samoan dudes came up to the campus, big as hell. No, it was Ladies of Athena, actually. No, Tongs was mixed. But Ladies of Athena was the club. And they had, one of them had a boyfriend who was Samoan. They came up there with a bunch of Samoans. That dude walked up to me. Hey, you Tuck, because my last name's Tucker. Yeah, my girl said you was messing with her. Da-da-da. He walked up with 6 big-ass Samoans. I got off on that fool. You don't understand, Unc, how Cali work. You bring in 3, 4, 5, 6, that don't put no fear in us. All we gonna do is knock you the fuck out and make sure you get got, and then we're gonna deal with them later. I'm not saying, and the reason I feel like 4 Extras been in the county jail with ops and had to get off. You think he's in jail with ops who in the streets will want him dead. You think he's gonna be deterred because you bring 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people? That probably would have made him get off even quicker on you. But that's what I'm telling y'all. These dudes do not understand the way California dudes think. If they think, oh, if I'd have brought 2 people, he would have never did it. Please, bro. Nobody's scared of you. Nobody's scared of nobody you're going to bring. Trust me. He spared you. He spared you. That's it, and that's all. Because a real dude, he ain't worried about who's in the room. When Almighty spit on me, I didn't know if freaking Ann or any of them would jump up to defend him. But guess what? His ass was going to get got. And whoever would have tried to jump up to defend him, they would have got. That's the way that work. When you disrespecting somebody, I couldn't give a flying hell where you or they are from. You disrespecting me and I'm going to get you. Please stop. Don't no gang make your ass untouchable. Don't be in from whatever, make it to where a nigga about to tolerate you disrespecting him. Are you crazy? It's squares out here carrying pistols. What you talking about? It's dudes out here who ain't never gangbanged a day in their life out here strapped up, ready to put somebody in the dirt. He just doesn't understand how things work. That's it. All right. So the question I got for the callers calling up is do you guys believe that 607 Unc is trying to eliminate 4 Extras? Because now that I've been analyzing this, it seems like this is a plot by 607 Unc to make Adam choose between him and 4 Extras. Now, what 607 Unc has realized, Adam can he can't be manipulated. He can be impressed upon based on who he thinks is going to generate views for him. And I think this is a power play. I think Unc has done a lot. Adam hasn't paid Unc anything. There's a method to that too. There's a reason for that too. And I think Unc is basically saying, you got to choose between me and 4 extras. And if Adam is smart, I wouldn't ever put myself in a position to where anyone who works for me thinks that they can pressure me or force me to fire anybody else, right? But that's on him. So what do you think, Curtis? Is 607 trying to get rid of 4 extras?
I think that he's more hurt than anything. Like, he knows that he got played and he got punked, and he's trying to save what little kind of street cred that he has. I don't think that he's trying to get 4 extra out of the position. I think he knows that his 4 extra spot's pretty much solidified there. Even though I think 607 is way more entertaining than 4 extra, I think he's kind of like a one-trick pony. Plus, I think 4 extra is eventually going to crash out on somebody one of these days. So I think he's kind of a liability. But no, I don't think that he's trying to make Adam decide to pick between the other. I think he's just trying to show face because he basically got punked.
Why do you think he got played?
Well, he thinks Adam played him. He thinks that Adam set him up. He said it in the interview. So he thinks that he got set up and backdoored. And not only top of that, he was scared to death the whole time they was interviewing him. And then he's wondering where Adam's at. So obviously he's heated behind that whole situation. But no, I don't think that if I was 607, I wouldn't even be thinking about coming back to No Jumper. What would be the point?
To make money.
I mean, but he said he don't get paid from No Jumper.
He's gonna get paid. He says, you haven't given me any money yet.
Oh, okay.
But if Adam says something like, I'm gonna pay you for every episode you appear in, right? And you doing 50 episodes a month, and Adam say, I'm gonna give you $500 for every episode because you generated that type of buzz to warrant that type of pay. Well, let's do this. Let's go. Let's do a calculation. I know you Negroes don't have calculators. 500 times 50. That's $25,000. Yeah, I say don't pay me too. Pay me when my shit then built up to 100,000. Give me a lump. Maybe I got habits and addictions, and I know I'll blow my money on bullshit if it's put in my hand immediately. Yeah, I work too. Especially if I got a social security check coming in, which I'm sure this nigga get SSI. I'm pretty damn sure. He better. He could get SSI for just being so ugly. But if I got some money coming in to handle my expenses, well then why wouldn't I say hold on to my bread and just let it stack up and then pay me, cash me out when it's time?
Well, let me ask you this, Brandon. Do you think that Adam is scared of 4 extra?
No. Not even
Not anyway.
Not even a little bit. Why?
But it seems like he has 4 extra. 4 extra has Adam kind of intimidated when they're kind of together because he's so aggressive. But then again,
Adam is not afraid of 4 extras.
Okay.
No. Adam has dudes who Adam has developed a relationship with so many dudes from different hoods. Mm-hmm. I don't think it will be hard for Adam to get somebody to confront 4 extras for him. I mean, he literally had Crip Mac jump into his defense at one point. And money makes the world go around. For one, he got the LAPD. For two, he could hire a security guard with a gun. Like when that one dude, Ruger, tried to talk shit to Adam. Adam didn't look scared. Adam was like, you got to leave. And guess what Ruger did? Got his ass up and left. Adam is not scared of these dudes. They're scared of Adam because they know Adam will call the cops.
Good point.
And I'm telling you, if you know anything about LA, bro, you could bring 2 bands to the hood and get a nigga on homie to fight him for you. That's real. You go damn near any hood with a couple bands and be like, hey, nigga, what's your name? You from where? Oh, this nigga from here? Yeah, I give you 5 bands to beat this nigga's ass right now. And they'll be out there squabbling in the street.
Okay.
I've seen this shit happen before. It's crazy. Thank you. Go ahead.
Are you going back on No Jumper, Brandon?
I don't know.
Okay.
When I'm called and I'm paid, I answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. High facts. I don't want to show y'all ugly faces, but I guess I'll give y'all some grace. Go ahead.
Nah, man. Hey, the algorithm loves seeing people's faces. I'm gonna go ahead and put it to you like this. Do I think he's trying to get rid of Fo Extra? Nah. I got family from the 40s. I got reputables that's over Fo Extra in the 40s. Um, he ain't trying to get rid of him, but here's the thing: a lot of people are brand new to 607 Ump. A lot of the reputables in St. Louis, a lot of the drill rappers and the battle rappers and other people who have started their career have to go through him. A lot of them will tell you stories about how crazy he is, and yes, you are right. He probably do get an SSI check because one of the most prominent historical battle rappers, Averb, said that we from the same apartments, but he from the crazy side where those families there. A lot of people had mental issues there. Now 607 Ump has been running numbers extremely high for a very, very long time. He has been on cameras with people that is like Fo Extra in St. Louis, and he's telling them he ain't gonna do nothing to me because I got this on him. I own his paperwork. I do this. I got this on these people. He's not lying about a lot of that stuff. He's not lying about it. He's a small dude who knows business and he crazy at the same time. So he uses that as his gimmick. And his gimmick has been running numbers on a whole lot of different platforms. Now he's brand new to the no jumper scene. So a lot of people are brand new to who he is. But I've been knowing who he is for a good long while. And my whole thing was, let me see how they take him in over here. And I knew it was going to be like oil and water. I already knew because of how crazy he gets to try to get his message out.
Is he calling those dudes in St. Louis gay, saying they went to jail because they want to get their booty, all that stuff?
Yeah. It's even if you go back and do your history on him, you'll be like, this dude is he's a for real character. And in actuality, he has way more numbers than Fo Extra. He's helped way more artists get into the game. So right now, what he's doing is saying he wants that fade. He knows that Fo Extra turned down Aaron the Plumber. They not gonna fight. He not gonna fight King Pill. And he like, look, my status is way above all of them. You had this situation with me. And Remo also verified with Lush. And I know Lush from the battle rap scene. And Lush and Remo said, Fo Extra come in with 30, 40 people all the time. Brick Baby called in today and was like, we supposed to have it down to where can't nobody bring in 3 people, but Fo Extra gets the ability to do whatever he wants to do in there. And he did have all them people inside there with him.
I would think that happened because Adam wasn't there. I don't think Adam would have.
Yeah, but check this out. Fo Extra actually flew to Texas. He was trying to catch Remo and Adam in Houston, but he caught them in Dallas. And Remo verified that they had a conversation about the whole thing. Remo wants to try to bring 607 back and says that we need to try to go ahead and protect him because they know and they've done their research and saw they now know the numbers from all the other platforms that he's been on and what he brings to the table as far as the numbers. Now he's not like what's old boy that was on That's So Raven, or Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown.
He's not crazy like Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown got, they both got issues, but 607 Us actually knows business and how to bring things to the table.
But Orlando Brown stood up to 4 Extras.
Here's how they're similar. He did Brown, and said, somebody take the picture. Somebody take the picture.
Wait a minute. Orlando Brown was able to do what 607 Unc tried to do, but he executed it perfectly. And Orlando Brown, when it was over, he let it be over. I think that
But
607 Unc,
Adam was also there.
it doesn't matter because Orlando Brown let it be what it was when it was done. 607 Unc was scared. He left. He made it out alive. And instead of just being like, you know what? Let me go back to the table and go back to the drawing board and talk to these dudes. He starts saying, you set me up and got all scared and stuff. You can't say I'm a crazy nigga from here, and then you so scared when something happened like that.
Well, you know, he was back. He was backdoored in a way. Lush said, you know, he showed up, and in a way, he felt exactly what 607 was saying.
That man
But
wasn't
that's why
backdoored at all. You at work. It's your job to be in this podcast. It don't matter if Adam don't show up.
Yeah, but that's why he's doing this now, though.
607 is not even somebody anyone would want to beat up. He's a scrawny, nothing of a man, and he literally is trying to act like he's a threat to where 4 Extra need to bring 50.
He got people that want to kill him though, because of what he's done in this. Because of what he's done in the street and how he's helped people in the industry. Now, what he's doing with trying to get this celebrity boxing match is he's trying to tell people that with 4 Extra. He's trying to tell people that 4 Extra is scared.
Listen, man, you're a grown ass man, bro. You're not slow. You're literally taking your brain out your head that is very intelligent and you putting it in your sock. There's no way anyone would sanction a celebrity boxing match. You claim to know boxing. You said that last time we talked. Who on earth is going to sanction a boxing match with someone who is 100 pounds against someone who's 240 pounds?
You grew up in my era. You grew up watching bum fights and all that stuff. People will go ahead and watch.
Sanctioned fights. Those are not
but
fights.
This ain't a sanctioned fight. It'll be an exhibition. He's not saying he said he's going to win, but he's not going to win. All he wants to do is hit him one good time.
Listen, man, even an exhibition has to be approved by the governing body of boxing for that city. You know that.
Look,
especially if there's money
exchanging hands. If he hit 4 Extra one good time and then keep running and 4 Extra can't catch him, it's gonna look funny as hell. Just think about it. It's gonna look funny as hell. Well, that's what 607 Unc is trying to do.
Man, you crazy.
But that's what he is trying to do. And his Hoover thing, you know, him coming out here and saying disrespecting the blood and stuff.
No one is paying to see that, bro. Like, there's no winning it for 4 Extras. 4 Extras didn't even want to fight King Pill because he said he looked like a crackhead, which makes you think you're gonna go against 607 Unc. That's even worse. There's no winning.
I'm not saying that the fight's gonna happen. I'm just saying that he's calling them out to make it seem like if 4 Extra say, man, I would never fight him, that's going to give 607 Unc more to be able to talk about him about.
All I'm going to say is this.
That's gonna build the content and bring in the more views.
All I'm going to say is this. Adam, if you watching this, Josh, if you watching this, the people getting the most views, don't look and don't act like 607 Unc. The Breakfast Club is whooping our ass as far as views. They don't got one ugly crackhead looking dude on there acting crazy. Hey, listen.
Well, when DW Flame had his thing with 607
listen. If we're about views, which is what No Jumper is trying to get, you're gonna have to lock it in on something serious. You're not gonna get views off of gimmicks. Everyone's arc is already going down. Listen, I talked to the engineers. They go up and then they go down. Everyone is going down. They were up, they peaked, they're going down. The only views that are staying consistent are the people who are not trying to gimmick. The guys just sitting on the couches going over the news. They're consistently hitting the same numbers. And long term, that's what's going to give you a base income or revenue Where you
Somebody said next call, but let me go ahead and
because your
say
ass started
this.
getting crazy at the end. They was
No,
saying you was cooking at first, then you went crazy.
No. But think about this. Think about what happened with DW Flame the first time he met 607 Unc, right? The first time they met,
Unc was scared
there
then
was
too.
there was a language barrier then that
There
did
was
not.
no damn language barrier.
But then DW Flame learned that, oh, this is what you do out there with the industry, and then they end up doing other things together. They end up working together though. That's what I'm saying. 607 knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It worked out with DW Flame.
No,
and we know DW Flame got hands too.
He never called DW Flame gay or none of that. He never said the stuff about DW that he said about 4 Extras.
DW told him, "I'm gonna get off on you," and they went back and forth.
Did he call DW Flame gay and say he going to jail because he getting his booty played with? No.
All right, look. I agree with you there. When he did that, he don't know that 4 Extra is a little bit,
Don't say he don't know. We've all seen the videos of 4 Extras, bro. Stop it. Everybody on Earth, just people.
But it could be a gimmick, though, is what he's saying.
If it's people in Japan who, if they see 4 Extras, gonna say, and they probably gonna be saying he be knocking people out. Everyone knows what 4 Extras is all about, bro. Stop it. Thank you so much for calling up, though. I appreciate it.
Hey, your name is Defiant, right?
Yep.
All right, so we brought that defiantness to the show.
There you go. Peace, brother. Let's go, administrator. What up, my brother?
What back again? Man, the Unc thing is hilarious, bro. St. Louis is more like East St. Louis.
Yeah.
We're looking like or Gary, Indiana, Kankakee, Illinois. But I'm gonna say, because with the No Jumper show, with all internet stuff, there's a little bit of theater involved, right? And that's fun.
Hold on real quick. He never said that about 4 Extras. You idiot. He did. He did say 4 Extras go to jail because he like getting his booty played with. He did say that.
Everyone called him out for that.
Why do people just, listen, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, but just with the natural amount of theater that comes with these podcasts and stuff like that, I think Unc adds such an extra layer of fakeness to it that it's kind of messing with the show. In my opinion, I think just when you saw him sitting there talking to Wack, when he said that stuff like, "Oh, if I had my people," like just look in his eyes, it's just so fake. It's hard to watch him because it's just so disingenuous. Like it's just not fun to watch No Jumper when this dude is on, because everything he's doing is fake. And then like I cringe when he be saying certain stuff, trying to get people to say certain stuff and start certain stuff. Like it's not subtle, it's not artistic, it's just ugly.
It's all designed to try to get views, clicks and views. It's not authentic in any way. Even comedians, Dave Chappelle, he says a joke, it sounds authentic. He talks about something real. Just yelling out something stupid, like, "Oh, I want to have sex with this dude." It's slapstick stupid shit. But
yeah, he's unwatchably inauthentic.
It's an insult to slapstick comedy, because at least slapstick comedy, admits what it is. He's trying. I don't know what that is. He's trying to say, "I'm using this to bring a message." Bro, get the hell out of here. Your message is, "I'll do anything to get views." Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
Right. And the thing with 4 Extra is I see that he can play along within the confines of the podcast. But there are those moments where you just like, bro, you tested me. I can't let that slide. You know what I'm saying? Like on the cameras, there's some stuff. People get comfortable saying certain stuff because they feel like the camera is a security guard. Let's just be real about that, for one. And then if you get someone to do something on camera, it's all about how they look. It is a whole like psychological game. I do think Unc is a lot better with the one-on-one interviewing. I think I've seen 1 or 2 of him doing the one-on-one interviewing where he's getting people to, incriminate themselves. I think he's good at that. He's trying to be like, the DJ academics and the poetics and the stuff that's kind of like, I don't care if niggas go to jail kind of thing. And a part of it with a lot of these guys, it just seems like the black internet world is crawling with CIA, Negroes, and it's
you don't even
all
need the
coming
CIA.
together.
You don't even need the CIA. You don't even need the CIA to get these Negroes.
I think the likes of us are coming at it from totally different angles. I think people like us are actually trying to get people to think different and start thinking better for themselves. And then the other types are just trying to get rid of us by throwing us behind bars. But either way, the result is a safer black community.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, I'll ask you a question. Have you noticed that when 4Extras be on, he be screaming, kind of breathing hard? I was worried about bro. I was like, bro, kind of sound like something going on with him.
Oh yeah, because he be getting it all out.
I'd be like, bro, is he wheezing a little bit? Like, I don't know if he got asthma or what.
Asthma. Yeah,
I was a little bit worried about bro. I said, damn, bro.
Probably them rings down. On. Take some of them rings off. Shit, probably squeezing his damn arteries.
I was kind of worried about the bro. I was like, dang, is that
good? His punching hand? Because God,
hey, you get hit with them rings, you even if you don't go out, you definitely got a chip too for something.
Right? Yeah, bro. Like 4Extra, people be trying to like downplay him, bro. Like I feel like he knows how to do this. You know what I'm saying? But he got this other dude in the way, kind of impeding him, and everyone trying to kind of act like he's some kind of hood cherry case. It's really annoying.
There's a lot of things you could do with 4Extras, but like people don't understand. Like Adam is around black culture, associated with black culture, but he still has a lot about black culture that he doesn't understand. Like we were talking about this behind the scenes. You had dudes up here last night trying to really break down Adam 22, and they were going so deep, and it's like he ain't that deep, y'all. Y'all thinking this is way deeper than it really is.
He's an average white boy that grew up on black culture, hip hop culture.
Right. Living in New Hampshire, probably nothing to do. Probably was watching MTV and stuff, seeing some gangster videos, was like, that's cool. And then kind of got caught in that rabbit hole. Like, will I say he knows more about hip hop than me? Yeah, probably. But would I say the taste in hip hop that he has is like the best? No. Like half the shit he likes, I would never listen to. So He's very much an underground hip hop fan.
With 4Extra, I would just bring in anyone he wants to interview, anything he's interested in doing on there that's going to bring the most out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of forcing situations on him, you know what I'm saying? Like, who do you want to talk to? You know what I'm saying? Because people he may want to talk to are people that people like him want to hear from.
The thing with people saying Adam is the feds, bro, y'all can see Adam's entire trajectory from the days he was doing BMX, from the days he was going from hood to hood doing no jumper. Like, y'all explain to me how this dude went from BMX to porn star to fed. It's not even feasible. The FBI ain't even gonna hire nobody who does the stuff he engages in. So it's like, do y'all say that to make yourself feel better or something about him being pretty successful and black people screaming how this they culture and they don't got the success he does? Like, y'all keep bringing up Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed should have the production house that Adam 22 has, but he does it because he's a bum, right? That guy says he's a movie producer and all this other stuff. And it's like, bro, you let a porn star BMXer outdo you in your own city. Well, your own adopted city. It's almost like if we can't match it or we're unwilling to do the work to do it, then we just got to criticize it or discredit somebody. Oh, that person's a fed. They're an informant. Man, Adam ain't worried about you. Adam is worried about keeping his business afloat in real time. Ain't no fed running to Houston and all these places. Like, bro, the feds don't need Adam. They got plenty on y'all without even trying. They got enough of y'all homies snitching on y'all to where they don't need a single operative.
Right. Uncle and them are the type where you definitely don't feel comfortable saying anything to them. They collect. Everyone's writing something down in their little pen pad. It seems like everybody got a little pen pad. writing down and doing background checks and looking into like that's weird, bro. Like how y'all like they act like they got access to a database we don't have access to.
There's no way before Wack 100 would do content with me, well, before he got on with me, there's no way I 100% believe he was digging, trying to see if he could find any dirt on me. Like, they diggers. And I don't think they got to be the feds to do that. They do that so they can, like, one-up you. They can have dirt on you to expose you because that's what draws views, exposing people. If I put in here, I promise you, if I put 4 extras exposes 607 Unc and made it a 10-minute clip and put some thumbnail, I promise you that thing would have hit 50,000 views. They just know how y'all work.
And I know people that know him, and I don't want to say stuff because then he'll know who I am. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. This situation is very much a science. It's very predictable, and they know what grabs y'all attention.
Like they're the black Palantir.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't
and the Palantir guy's half black, if you didn't know that.
So what I'm saying is like, dude, it's like you want to believe they're the feds because they have this information and this knowledge. They're not the feds. They've just been doing this so long, they know exactly what makes you tick as a viewer. And so that's why they're able to keep doing it, because they know if they offend you, if they act like they're a fed, if they act like they're a snitch, they know you can't help but watch it. Oh, sometimes, see, I was right.
Sometimes I feel like some of them do owe some names and they do it this way. So it's not like a direct snitching kind of thing.
No, 100%. Anything else?
No, I'm good, man. I would just say, Adam, if you're listening, Unc, he seems kind of dynamic, but I think a lot of people see kind of through him, and it's just kind of gross. I think it makes the show look a little more inauthentic. I think I had a good thing going. So,
hey, I'm on him. I'm on No Jumper. Stop changing the cast up so much.
Right.
Let's do it. Let's lock in and make it just a true meritocracy. Our cast versus this cast versus this cast, and whoever gets the views stays up. Whoever doesn't gets cut. I would love to do that because I think I will come out on top. Cinderoni, what up?
Yo,
what up?
What up, though?
Guys, after Cinderoni speaks, I'm gonna read the super chats and shout out everybody making contributions to the stream. So if you've been wanting to do that, now is the time to do so. Remember, we have Cash App available. That's going across the bottom of the screen. It is also pinned at the top of the chat. We also have PayPal. We also have super chats available to you. And I already see there's 3 super chats up. Let's get those super chats in. Let's support the content we want to see the most, because my political guys, when I do political shows, they contribute. It ain't a whole bunch of them watching, but they damn sure carry more than their weight in contributions. So my No Jumper people who love this stuff, who love this lore and all this, make sure you guys are contributing to the stream so we can keep this coming. And I'm still working out the tweaks on how to do this. I might do my political stuff in the morning and do this universe in the evening, but let's definitely make it worthwhile for me, and let's make it to where I can do this and I don't have to do other things to line my pockets. Basically, take care of the people who take care of you. I don't know how else to say that. And don't forget, we got one more topic coming up. There's a California mayor who has called on 18th Street La MA in Florencia in the Mexican mafia to fight ICE agents who are coming into their neighborhoods. You want to be here for this, because to me that's absolutely diabolical, and it's very telling when it comes to Hispanic sentiment, when it comes to how they feel about America and the laws. She's crazy, but the FBI's on her ass. Pause, and we're gonna get deeper into that. Go ahead, Cinderoni.
Salute. And I'm definitely glad you're speaking on that, because I saw that earlier this morning. I thought that was atrocious. But I've been saying that No Vaseline, Maxine, Trash Bass, Newscomb. All them people need to be locked. They need to be locked up for treason. And I mean, what they doing out there is hard, but they don't care about no. They don't look at getting rid of illegal aliens as really a problem. They look at that as another vote loss. They don't care the same. They just making it seem like they care. They not looking at them people like that. But I think you were speaking on the 602, 607 guy, whatever. I think he trying to find that buzz with Brick Baby that he had got. Him, Brick Baby, and Adam 22. They had a pretty good trio together with I think Lush might have been in on that too or something like that. But I think they had a pretty good show. And I think that's what he trying to find. But them characters ain't there no more. And, at the end of the day, we got to look at who's arranging these guests to be aligned with these particular guests. Because it's not making sense to put certain characters with certain characters when they don't match, unless you want certain type of shit to happen, and which pretty soon it's bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Munchie B for keeping, keeping his posture together. You know what I mean? Because he ain't got nothing to prove, and anybody that's saying he got something to prove is crazy and stupid for even thinking like that. 4 Extra, him being, like on paper right now, you would think he would have another approach to the game, but that's his character though, that he, that's a line that he pushing and he's serious about that. So, I mean, to put this guy 607 up with around these type of, official people, I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that, 607 up is a cancer to what Adam 22 is doing with that particular set of guys right there. I'm not saying that he don't have a place on the show, but at the same time, I think that, when you mix certain characters together, you bound to have some type of, dispute. I.e. look at, how the Almighty Suspect situation went down. That whole thing should have never even happened. That shit should have been squashed. A lot of these beefs should be squashed before the cameras even come on. Like if we here to commentate and you know what I'm saying, and people there to to give advice and to do reviews on other topics and stuff. What do these internal beefs got to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does a lot of this stuff really could be settled with some conversation, or if a fade, like, you know what I'm saying, they, that's mandatory or whatever the case may be. But all that violence and shit, all that shit gonna do is bring on more violence. All that violent talking, all that shit, they need to cut that out.
My thing was this. I said, and I suggested this when I first went to No Jumper. I said, look, man, why don't you just get 2 pairs of boxing gloves and some headgear? And if people really want to fight and get at each other like that, it's a big ass area at No Jumper where there's no, like, a big old area when you first walk in. Couches, pool table, and it's still a gang of space. Hey, man, y'all want to go get a couple of rounds in? Just go out there and knock each other silly with the headgear on. Let's just settle who's really the tough guy and leave it at that. They don't want to do that, though. It's a lot of posturing. I mean, I guess that makes for good TV, I guess, but it is what it is, man. It's their ship to run. Just keep paying me, and I'll show up and give my best. And that's all anybody could ask. So, but thank you, bro. You brought up some very good points. I appreciate you. And we're going to go on to the next topic, and feel free to come back up to comment on that.
Hey, no doubt. Hey, one more thing, though, Brandon. I want you to remember, too, I think it was either last year or a year before last, they had one of them Latino officers out there. I can't forget. I forgot her political stance, but she was a politician out there. She was up there calling the little kids monkeys and stuff, man. Doing all kind of shit. I mean, like, it's a lot of treachery and backstabbing. You know what I'm saying? In them politics out there in LA, and it needs to be brought up. Like, definitely brought up.
And guys like me, I mean, I feel like I'm opening a door for people to speak more freely and more candidly, even about the gang stuff. And I really think that once you profit off of gang culture, you are like obligated to kind of try to tell the truth about what it really is. And sometimes I'm even able to pull like Munchie B or Aunt Hefe, some of them dudes into that conversation. And I would like to do that more because I think everyone has a similar message, but No Jumper is kind of like, no, we want the bullshit, like the hood stuff. But the reptibles are kind of like, yeah, like that stuff is cool, but it doesn't lead anywhere. And I think the world is more geared. Go ahead.
You bring that element of like the people that's trying to better themselves, you know what I'm saying, to the forefront to get their opinion on a more calmer base, to where if they was to get their opinion to the homie on another level, it might have to be some tension or some type of altercation behind it, because people brains are not big enough to discuss everyday issues. Um, in fact, if you look at how we discuss politics and how the politicians discuss politics, they get up there in battle and they can go play golf the next day with each other, but we'll be, trying to kill each other, or, melee or brawl about something that, like, issues that don't have nothing to do with us. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but always remember, it's a battle of minds, regardless of all this physical shit or who's bigger than who or who's set bigger than it. It's about when you get up on that microphone, it's about what comes out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing right there.
Right. You could tell the war stories, but make sure you telling the whole story. Like, yeah, man, I used to be on the ops. Yeah, but I also spent 10 years in jail, was in the hole, was this and that. Had to go fight people and get time added onto my time when I really didn't want to. My mama died while I was in jail. Tell those stories too, because when you look at stuff like street TV or gang tapes or whatever, all those channels are killing No Jumper with the views. And I'm like, bro, I've said this to Adam one time. I said, bro, you literally have street TV, you have all those channels where they talk about LA gangs. You have all that sitting in one room. There's no way you shouldn't have been able to parlay this into millions of views, right? People will talk about gangs, show pictures of the gangs, the neighborhoods, etc., and just talk about stories from the gangs. They're getting 100,000, 200, 300, 400,000 views. Bro, you got active gang members up here right now. They could tell the hood stories, or you could talk about hood stories from 10, 15 years ago. That's the cases are solved, and get a real opinion from someone who's currently from that hood. Why not do that? That's way more interesting. But it's just like, you kind of get caught up on the crash outs, and then you're like, I need someone crashing out for me to be productive. But thank you, my brother, for coming up. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Salute to you, man. Great show.
Hey, peace. All right, Music Maniacs. What up? How you doing, my brother?
All right, I just wanted to touch on, I guess, just the whole situation, No Jumper situation. But I got to tell you, I've been watching No Jumper since the AD and House Phone days, and I'm not even a hip hop fan. And let me tell you the reason why. Good personalities, entertaining people like you and Lush. The thing you mentioned yesterday, you were like, they need, or people like a regular cast of people that you see weekly, hear weekly, and you into what they're saying, just like they had with Kate, with AD and House Phone and them, and then all that happened, they left. So he does have all these rotating people. Lush came in, so I'm a big, I never knew who Lush was before and everything. So just being entertaining and not necessarily his political views, but just, I don't know, his personality and your personality. That's a big deal. That's a big thing. So from my perspective, yeah, like they need, even like you and Lush weekly talking politics with Adam, or something like that. But definitely, like, you got to be over there every week like you're doing, and the fans of you want to see more of you. But Adam there's like all these new faces, and there was a whole new cast of faces this week or something. It's just so much people, and coming from a person's perspective that's not involved or been a fan of gangs or the culture. Or, I don't know. I feel like California, that gang culture, and I'm in Texas, and all that gang stuff I just remember from like middle school and some of high school. But I guess that's really like a thing in California. You can be a 50-year-old gang member guy and whatever. But all that, I mean, that's all you kind of see is on the jumper, the mumble mouths, the people that are high off their ass on the pills. I'm not on here to shit on the jumper or anything. I love the show and I love Adam, and I just like the current, like we now speak on current events, and obviously all the political stuff is white hot, and that's why I go there and throw in a couple dollars over there. I mean, I don't donate over there unless you're over there. You know what I'm saying? But I know he ain't gonna give you the dollar I donate, and that's all good. But just showing some love, you know what I'm saying? And I think there is. Like you said, there is a group of haters, obviously, but there is also a vocal group of supporters for you over there too, in the chats and the comments and everything. And you are, and I think you can, and you are, and I don't know if you realize you are, but the more you get into those debates, because that's what the people love. The people love the debates, the old radio style. I like watching the. Back then, like Howard Stern and stuff, the radio antics and on-air antics and characters, like the Unk guy is very annoying to me and part of that mumble mouth gangster deal, but he's still a character in a way. And I mean, I could care less, what Adam does with him, fire him, bring him on. I mean, to me, he's just another one of those. One of those guys that are high and just mumble mouths and whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? You and Lush are the stars over there, in my opinion. And maybe it is just like an age thing. Y'all a little bit old. I mean, I'm not saying you're old, but a lot of these fans are, the YNs are probably in their 20s and younger, and y'all guys, you and Lush a little bit older and went through a lot in life, experienced more, whatever, and you really you can really set the standard, like, hey man, this gang life, this YN culture is just not the way. You're not on there preaching Jesus or none of that either. Like you're straight out, you know what I mean? You have experience, you had your backstory with your life and your involvements and whatever, and you can be that like real role model. Like Adam's cool. I mean, he could be like a role model for getting money, whatever, porn star, doing all these chicks. I mean, what a life, right? But you can really change the culture of the culture in a way, you know what I mean? Like just being forefront, and just the scams, the robbing, the wearing the mask, the guns, the gang banging, all that crap, man, you don't have to do that.
The thing is, like, what you're saying is like you appreciate authentic people. Like, one thing about Lush, he might be crazy, he might be a bit of a glazer, but Lush is authentic. Like, there's never been a time where I called Lush and Lush didn't pick up the phone, even if it was like 8-9 o'clock at night. Lush is an authentic person, but sometimes situations are a reflection of the person who's in control of those situations, right? So you always got to acknowledge that. Also, you think people don't know, like, dang, Lush and Brandon are like, they're heavy hitters in this situation. But sometimes people want to be a star of their own show. And there's nothing wrong with that. They built it, and it's their right to run it how they want to. My biggest thing is, like, if you bring me in, like, I want to get views, or I want you to get views, let me get views. Don't bring me in and then handicap me and then be like, oh, I don't know exactly where you fit into this situation. I know exactly where I fit in, wherever the hell I want to fit in, because I have the range to really fit in any space. I'm one of the people, you can sit me in a room with 4 extras, or sit me in a room with a white supremacist, or sit me in the room with a Hebrew Israelite, or sit me in the room with Hefe, Munchie B, a bunch of OG dudes from hoods. Like, I'm probably like the only person at No Jumper right now, other than Lush too. We're very versatile. We can be in any room in No Jumper, hold our own, speak our piece and make it very clear that the conversation is not beyond us. Even though, like, I'm not a super hip hop head, I can listen to a song and say that's trash or that's good, or hey, this guy might need to work on this, or at least steer the conversation in a way to where it's relevant or I'm relevant to the conversation. That's talent. But if you have a bunch of one-trick ponies, you know, eventually the cost is going to outweigh the revenue, or the potential collateral damage is going to outweigh the reward. The risk will outweigh the reward. So I understand exactly what you're saying, and I just hope they tap into that more.
Yeah, it's a podcast. It's not necessarily like a reality show where you act a fool, you know, in a way. I mean, you have your characters and everything, but like this is a podcast with microphones, and you sit down and you conversate, you debate. I mean, that's really the thing. A lot of these people that fly off the handle, your mighty suspects and others that, you know, do the crash outs, that, you know, you got to learn to debate and not let words like the bitch word
That's what happened with Almighty. Almighty, he's a knowledgeable guy to an extent, but he has a lot of like unrefined knowledge, right? He has an opinion, and once you refute his opinion, he doesn't have anything else, so he resorts to personal attacks. And you just got to learn to get past that. And the only way you get past that is by putting the weed down, putting down whatever it is you're doing in your spare time. Pick up books. You have YouTube. You can learn about anything in YouTube in like an hour.
Get a job.
Get a job, right? When I drive, I listen to YouTube videos about history, science, all types of things, because you're learning and you're really bathing your brain in just new information. But if you know all you do when you drive is bump music and smoke weed, don't come in a conversation about nothing real or historical, and then get mad because someone knows more than you and try to make the conversation about personal attacks. It's just very it's very disingenuous, and it's very tasteless. But thank you so much, Music Maniacs. I appreciate
Thank you
for coming always with the good opinions. I appreciate that, brother. All right, we got TSM Sports. What's up, my man? We're moving to the next segment, so y'all make it quick. Go ahead, TSM. You're muted, TSM. TSM going once. TSM going twice. TSM going 3 times. Come back up later. Laughing like Saget. What up, my brother?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, good, man. Okay. I don't know too much. I know you're about to move on to the next segment. The mayor wanting gangs to fight ICE. That's new to me. That's insane. But I'm just gonna go ahead and touch on the 607 UNC thing. I have seen quite a bit of material from him, and I think he has a lot of potential, honestly. And when I watch No Jumper, I do think a lot of those guys are actually talented, but you know, the problem is they seem to squander that potential by just engaging in so much stuff, you know, and so much BS. And it's very unfortunate, you know, very, very unfortunate, because I look at these guys and it's like, you know, if they just put the gang stuff to the side, if they put all the hood stuff to the side, they would be able to actually give better insight, you know, especially to the youth. But instead, you know, I don't know, they get on there and they just seem to let, you know, they seem to let the fame kind of get to their head, to where it's like they're just saying whatever and doing whatever, and I'm like, I'm just like, good grief. I mean, you really don't have to go that route, you know, in my opinion.
And I think it's the fans too. I think a lot of people let the fans get to their head, like the viewers.
Right.
It's one of the only social media platforms I've seen where the viewers have the ability to manipulate the host in real time, bro. It's like exactly what they tell you not to do, they do that. And there's a reason why experts are like, yo, don't do this. You know, I saw Almighty literally watching the comments, and as the comments are going in, he's getting more turned up. And I'm like, dude, are you serious?
Bro, yeah, exactly. Like these grown men, they're not thinking for themselves. You know, to be honest with you. I'm like, no, like, like I if I was on there, like I would just, I wouldn't even worry about what the audience is saying. I would really just go, you know, I would just pretty much try to present something that's actually constructive. Like you said earlier, you know, whenever you're driving, you're listening to YouTube videos and learning about stuff. And I just feel like a lot of niggas just don't do that. Like not a lot, enough of us do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely. You know, if you look in your YouTube history and everything is just entertainment and like stupid stuff, man, you really gotta just check yourself, because you know, in this, we're living in the age of information. So you know, people should have more information than they had previously. But you know, just don't get in tough conversations if you're not doing the research, right? Like I was looking up today, I was watching a video about the growth of Islam as a religion. And a lot of times people didn't know that, like until the early 2000s, Hinduism and Islam were growing at the same rate. And then Islam like took off. But Islam to this day is still a smaller religion than Christianity in the world, but it's rapidly expanding. So that's just some random fact that will probably come up on No Jumper or come up on some podcast, and I'm gonna be like, actually, right? There's 2.6 billion Christians in the world, and there's 2 billion Muslims in the world. 32% of the world is Christian, 25% of the world is Muslim. People will say, oh, he thinks he knows everything. Well, I do know that. And it literally makes people mad. You're mad because I educate myself and learn. But that's what we're dealing with when you're dealing with a bunch of dummies, a bunch of young kids who want to pop pills and do drugs, but want to have an opinion that is respected. They get angry because when you don't respect their opinion. But thank you so much for calling up, bro. I appreciate your comment. You were 1,000% correct with everything you said.
Already, man. Hey, just right quick. Are you gonna catch the Canelo versus Crawford fight?
When is
in
that?
Vegas? It's supposed to be, I think, in.
I'm sorry. It's supposed to be when?
One second.
So they've scheduled that.
It's really supposed to go down. It's. Oh my god.
Yeah, the way I saw Bud beat Errol Spence's ass, I think he could beat Canelo, but Canelo is big. But I think Bud is a better boxer. So like, if Floyd beat Canelo, I think Bud could beat Canelo. Bud don't got the movement of Floyd though. But if he imitates what Floyd did, I think Bud can win, because Canelo is not even as fast as he once was. He relies more on power now. I think Bud could do it, but Bud, he definitely gonna have to give a master class and definitely get off first and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very close fight. I would flip a coin, you know, but between the two. It's supposed to be September 13th, by the way.
I don't think it'll be as close as people think. I think when you saw Bud fight Errol Spence, that was like that was a whooping, right? And Errol Spence to me is a lot like Canelo in the sense that he falls back on his power. When he can't match you technically, he then tries to bully you and overpower you. Bud seems to be ready for that. I don't think Canelo is the athlete that Errol Spence is. He's not as tall. He doesn't have the reach. He definitely is bigger, but I just don't think Canelo possesses the bag that Bud does. Only thing I could think is if Bud gets caught, you know, with some very crushing blows, and then it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah, but you know, the reason why I know you're trying to move on, man. So you know, I'm not gonna say a whole lot. But I think it's going to be close though, because I do feel like Canelo has been working a lot on this bag. You know, I think Canelo has a bigger bag than people give him credit for. You know, in my opinion. But I'll be pulling for Bud regardless. I think he's an underdog in the fight because he actually came up a couple weight classes. You know. And
Right.
like I do think Canelo probably has had like, you know, I think more powerful competition, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Bud fought a lot of nobodies. But I think that's because he was under what's his name, the white guy? What's that guy? Al Heyman? Wasn't he under Al Heyman? Wasn't he at Top Rank?
I forgot.
I think he was at Top Rank. I'm not sure, but I think the white guy. Wait, is Al Heyman white? Damn, let me. I think Bud Crawford was at Top Rank. He left Top Rank, but Al Heyman, I think, is black. Yeah, he was at Top. Bob Arum, but Bob Arum. Yeah, Bob Arum. I'll be getting the names mixed up. Yeah, the white guy. Yeah, white guy, Bob Arum. He was at Top Rank, and he wouldn't let Bud fight. He knew what he was doing, but Bud, thank God, was a very good boxer. He did the work that was necessary. But yeah, some of his fights I should be looking like, who the hell is this? He's fighting just some bums. PBC, okay. But thank you, Laughing Like Sock. I appreciate it.
already, man.
All right, guys, let's get to these super chats, these cash apps, etc. You guys show some love tonight. First and foremost, shout out to Patricia. Thank you for the $50 holler in the cash app. I appreciate that so very much. Shout out to my boy Hakeem, Turney Tyke, for the $10 holler in the cash app. Shout out to my boy JC, John, for the $5 holler in the cash app. And shout out to my boy JP from the LB, aka Sticks and Stones, for the $5 holler in the cash app. Now in the super chats, we have Bishop. Shout out to Bishop Rojas. Now that suspect is free, are you catching the fade again? He's free. You guys seen him? Circle, thank you so much for the $2. Circle Guy Exile. I grew up with you and I'm a big fan. You're crazy. Shout out to you. Thank you, Circle Guy, for the $2 holler. Again, he said, I see VM a certain way. Wild work. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. If you grew up with me, he's a Long Beach original. Music Maniacs, Carmelo Anthony, follow-up video or live coming. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about this guy, Carmelo. Looking like old Carmelo is cooked, y'all. Looking like it is what we thought it was. But they got the video, and they're saying there was no exchange, no pushing, no fighting, just an argument, and somebody stabbed somebody. Crawford is older than Canelo? Damn. That's crazy. I think Canelo might get flashbacks. Shout out to my Mimba. Lush said Sus was out. Oh, okay, out of jail. Okay, cool, man. I'm glad for him. Glad he's free, man. Glad he's free. So now we got to get into this situation with Cudahy, which is a very small city located right under the nuts of Los Angeles. The Cudahy vice mayor, Cynthia Gonzalez, had some very disturbing words where she appears to have called on Los Angeles gang members, Hispanic gang members, to fight against federal agents. No, I am not making this up. This is not a joke. This is very real. And this lady is out of her damn mind, as far as I'm concerned. Calling on LA gangs, Mexican Mafia, YMA, Florencia, 18th Street, calling on them to fight against ICE. And I guess this was an effort to stop deportations, but there's a way to do things and there's a way not to do things. And my people, this is definitely not the way to do things. Let's tap in.
I don't know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all
The vice mayor of Cudahy is under federal investigation tonight for this controversial video obtained exclusively by Fox News.
In it, she appears to call several times for local gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf joins us now live from Cudahy with the shocking video. Matthew.
Yeah, the vice mayor today not answering any of our text calls or emails as her video gains national attention.
Whoever's the leadership over there, just get your members in order.
An explosive TikTok video now the center of a possible FBI investigation in LA County.
Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now.
For about 90 seconds, City of Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez calls on gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
The controversial video was shared last week and has since been deleted, along with these Facebook posts obtained by Fox before they were also taken down. The vice mayor writing, "I need a lawyer. The FBI just came to my house," saying it was about a TikTok video that I made that went viral, literally a TikTok, adding she believes this is a First Amendment rights issue.
And they're using our brown bodies to avoid the conversation that this administration is a failure.
Gonzalez seen earlier this month at a press conference with LA area mayors.
She's a personal friend. I know her, and I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
Nearby Huntington Park Mayor Arturo Flores condemns Gonzalez's video.
Words are important, and so you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it.
While now urging local police to verify identities of those believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity? Am I able to tackle you right now?
Telling officers to pull over those without license plates for possible immigration operations.
If a caravan's coming in to our community, 4 or 5 vehicles, what I expect is for a vetting to happen of who those individuals are.
We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
The vice mayor not returning our calls, but a spokesperson from the city of Cudahy shared this written statement with Fox 11, saying they're aware of recent comments made by Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez on social media. The comments made by the vice mayor reflect her personal views and do not represent the views or official position of the city of Cudahy.
Shit.
We also reached out to every other single city council member here. So far, all we've had back is that one written statement. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So Matthew say that video has gone viral, and if you've looked at it, have you looked at the comments? Does she respond to people in the comments?
Yeah, the only comments that we've seen from her are on Facebook. The only response at all, really, in that now deleted video. We haven't seen any sort of response from her as this video is gaining national attention in other places like Twitter and on Instagram.
And you've seen the video from beginning to end, Matthew. Is there a really obvious threat? Is she calling for violence?
She does mention defending territory. She names those gangs by name. It's up to interpretation, I guess, and that is the active investigation taking place, whether or not that will classify as a threat.
All right, Matthew Seedorf, thank you so much.
Hey, listen, man. She sound like one of the Rukas from the hood, one of the hyenas from the set, the chulitas. Probably was, grew up getting bust down by Cudahy cholos in the hood and viewing these people as like tough guys who are defenders of the community. The lady's 100% wrong, but what I'm telling you is a lot of these politicians in California are criminal sympathizers. They love criminality. They will write a letter for a criminal to get off on a murder or to get a reduced sentence because deep down inside, they really want to be criminals. You got so many people who are in positions of power who really deep down want to be down with the set. I'm being real with you. Just like y'all see athletes like football players and basketball players chucking up gang signs, it's a lot of people who are lawyers and doctors and politicians who have some type of connection or admiration for gang members and criminals. And, you know, we all know politicians do what their constituents want them to do. Good politicians. She understands that if she dares to speak in favor of ICE, she knows she won't be elected next election. And she's the vice mayor. So I'm sure at one point or another, she plans on becoming the mayor of Cudahy. Cudahy is in LA County, right by LA. If you wouldn't even know you were there if you were there. It's such a small area. But for her to call them, oh, get your members in order and defend the neighborhood and and all this shit. Listen, girl, go sit your ass down somewhere. And the funny thing is, if you look at the video when they were talking to law enforcement, you can't say it's a race thing, which I do think at its core it is a race thing.
I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
Nearby Huntington.
Okay, so but you got people coming out to defend her. And I really believe if this was someone who was not Hispanic, they would not defend her. Oh, I know she wouldn't call for violence. Bro, when you're challenging gang members to come defend the community, you're calling for violence because that's what gang members use to defend their community. Let's tap into this one time.
She's a personal friend. I know her, and I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
Nearby Huntington Park, Mayor Arturo Flores condemns Gonzalez's video.
Words are important, and so you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it.
While now urging local police to verify identities of those believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity? Am I able to tackle you right now?
See, but look at what he's doing. So he's Huntington Park mayor, and he's like, well, I know she wouldn't call for violence. But words are important. You got to watch how you say stuff. But then he's telling his law enforcement officers to verify. If ICE comes in, pull them over and verify their identity. So then he puts on a mask and a vest and says, oh, now because I have this on, am I able to operate with impunity? Listen, bro, you know exactly who ICE is. You know if ICE is operating in your city. He's smarter about it, but he's going to find himself in trouble too, because ultimately what he's doing is he's trying to protect illegal immigrants. That's what he's doing. But they're just trying to find creative ways to do it. Listen to what he says one more time.
Believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity? Am I able to tackle you right now?
Telling officers to pull over those without license plates for possible immigration operations.
If a caravan's coming in to our community, 4 or 5 vehicles, what I expect is for a vetting to happen of who those individuals are.
We're out there
they want to stop those individuals, find out who those individuals are. And guys, if you know how these people do, you know exactly what this is. I'm going to stop the ICE agents, find out exactly who they are while I'm detaining them so that I can find out who they are. I'm putting the word out to all the people, put the word out to all your family members, friends, etc., so they can know to hide because ICE is in the city, right? Operating in the city. You're not slick, whatever your name is, mayor of Huntington Park. But this stuff is all obstruction of justice. And all these people are insurrectionists and they all deserve to go to jail. I'm keeping it a buck with you. They all deserve to be arrested. Right now, what you have is the leaders in predominantly Hispanic cities figuring out creative ways to obstruct justice. And it has to stop 1,000%. People say, oh, well, if you pull over, if you don't have a license plate, listen, there's certain license plates you see, you know it's law enforcement. If that joint says California exempt, you know that's law enforcement. Because just anyone can't get those license plates. You could pull up and be like, hey, are you guys ICE? And they'd be like, yeah, and then keep it moving. On top of that, they're operating on certain channels. And they inform, listen to me, ICE informs local law enforcement when they are going to be doing operations in their area. They let them know far in advance, because there was a politician in LA who was asking the Los Angeles police chief whether or not he could inform her or inform the citizens ahead of time if ICE is doing raids in the city, right? And he was like, no, I can't do that because that would be obstruction of justice. LA council member asks police chief to warn ICE. So you don't think that mayor knows that what he's doing will be obstruction of justice? They are there to do their job. I don't know if I'll be able to find that, but yeah, this lady literally asked, "Oh, well, is there any way we could warn people?"
This violence that I've seen is disgusting. It's escalated now since the beginning of this.
Freak. But that's what this is about. This is about obstruction of justice, and
this violence that I've seen is disgusting. It's escalated
to where these people can break the law and not be held accountable. But listen, man, this is why you got to be careful, because when you get elected to public office, you're supposed to be loyal to your city and your country and the citizens. You're not supposed to be loyal to criminals. You're not supposed to be loyal to illegal immigrants. But some of these people's loyalty doesn't lie with the people that they claim to represent. And it's sad that it has to be that way. If I get elected, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm black first. I'm going to be like, look, I'm black. But at the same time, I got to answer to the people who have elected me to represent them. They deserve to get, what they voted for over anything. And you just got to do it. And if you can't do that, you need to get the hell out of the position. It just really pisses me off when people do that. It really pisses me off. I really want to
opportunity to be able to brief the public a little bit about what's going on and what we've been doing, and ask truly an ask for peace throughout our city. Just on other, how long? No, thank you for the question. I spoke with the sheriff.
Two questions. One, is there a chance of instituting a curfew? And two, will you be going back and relooking at any of
we can focus on employee wellness of the fires. For me, again, that would be speculative to say how long. Just jump on.
We're trying to get into that. Get at the scene.
Only gotten
the amount of officers that are here in downtown LA. How does that affect?
I think people and or seeing rights.
I can't find
it. In line,
but basically, this politician is like, is there any way? She's asking Jim McConnell, the LA police chief. She's like, oh, is there any way we can do like a warning system when ICE is operating in the area? And he's like, no, ma'am, that would be obstruction of justice. So the police chiefs know what the law is, but they're constantly being asked to break the law by the politicians. But when those police chiefs lose their job or get arrested, those politicians will hide. Just like the one lady, the big fat one, who was talking gangster. She's super huge. And she was talking all this stuff. But when the riots jumped off, she was nowhere to be found with her big butt. She was talking all that trash. Oh, we this and that. And they know she was militant as hell. This one. I don't know her name. But she's a big one. Is her name Wendy Carrillo? I feel like this is her, but she got way fatter now. But they talk hella reckless. Oh yeah, she's big as hell. I'm gonna show you a picture of her. All overweight as hell, eating good off of those taxpayer dollars, but just a whole insurgent, a whole insurrectionist. This big one. She was talking so gangster. You would have thought she was the leader of a military group, a paramilitary group, because they know we adjust and adapt quicker, and we gotta. And I'm like, bro, stop. And then when people start getting arrested, she was nowhere to be found. Y'all can let these people set y'all up if y'all want to, but I would expect them to be there for me in my time of need. All right, we're gonna get to the callers, guys. TSM Sports, let's go. Cudahy Vice Mayor recruits gangs to fight ICE.
How you doing, Tom, bro?
I'm chilling.
Okay, I like these topics. You know, I'm the LA guy. I'm the LA African guy. Whew, it's complex. It's very complex. Okay, I will summarize on 2 parts. LA have this special culture of immigration history from South America, African American from Crenshaw, from South LA, Bloods and Crips, you know. Also with all the Mexican gangs, 18th Street, MS-13 from Salvador, all of that. So a lot of people, I think, like in the Hispanic community, you know, Hispanic people are very emotional. They're very emotional on the way even if a criminal is from their family, or even a criminal take care about their neighborhood, they will still support them. Because I don't know what's going on with their culture, but I believe they're very supportive on each other. So that's why you can see a lot of politicians from LA with as a Hispanic descent, they will rather protect the gang member terrorizing the community over ICE police. We can't take that away from Mexican, for real. They're very 100% emotional, and they will support their people as soon as they can, and the best way they can. Especially now with this time of the mass deportation, is very complex, you know. And on the same time, like I will talk about Karen Bass a little bit. What a year for Karen Bass. Karen Bass, she's just coming from like a big issue with the West LA fire. Now she have to deal with the mass deportation thing, ICE raid. And now after that, she have to deal with the way how she has to plan for the Olympics from the World Cup. It's a tough year. It's a tough year for her, man. Like I have a little empathy for Karen Bass, because I feel like she got a lot to do in 1 year, man. What do you think?
I think Karen Bass is a criminal and she needs to be in jail.
Yeah, but it's not. Look, Brandon, it's not easy to handle Los Angeles. Los Angeles has been out of control way before Karen Bass. What was the name of the guy who was before her? The white dude.
Karen Bass needs to be in jail.
Yes.
How long have you been in this country?
A couple, maybe 7 years now.
You can say anything you want about LA. Karen Bass is a criminal who criminally underfunded, defunded the important city services, funneled billions of dollars into homelessness NGOs for kickbacks. I know she got kickbacks, and we are dealing with the consequences of that. She's a horrible mayor. She never should have been elected. She's a criminal Marxist socialist who doesn't care about anybody but enriching herself and the people around her. She's a criminal. I feel no sympathy for her. You can run LA with your eyes closed because it is a machine that has been running for decades.
Okay, but I believe like the guy who was before Eric Garcetti, his name was Eric Garcetti.
I know who he was.
Yeah, Eric Garcetti
and
was.
you had Alex Villanueva.
Yeah,
before that.
I believe honestly, like Eric Garcetti was very weak, man.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with weak. It has nothing to do with weak. It has everything to do with there are votes, and the mayor can veto votes, and she didn't veto. She chose to defund city programs for radical Marxist policies.
Yeah,
and it backfired. And instead of saying I was wrong, let me change it, she doubled down on it. She's a criminal.
But look it that way. Okay, Eric Garcetti was here before her. I feel it was weak after she came to took the place on. But do you remember the?
Do you think Karen Bass is weak?
No, I believe she got caught up. She got caught up on the wrong agenda. That's what I believe.
Listen, no, she's been a Marxist since she was in college.
No, of course she is. No, she is a Marxist and socialist. Okay.
Okay, so if you look at Marxism and you look at socialism, this is exactly the way socialism and Marxism plays out. The Marxists come in, they tell you, we're going to give you freedom and we're going to take care of you. They don't take care of you. What they do is they redirect all the taxpayer dollars to the programs and to the companies of their choice, and then they pilfer from the tax budget. LA is getting robbed blind right now because we are paying billions in taxes and we're receiving no services for the billions that we're paying.
Yes. I understand.
Now, let me say this. Now, in true Marxist form, you know what they're doing now, right? Do you know what they're doing now, Mr. Oh, she's not weak. You know, now they're criminalizing if you reject being placed into a shelter 3 times, they are now making it to where they can arrest you now.
I believe it's something to do. I believe it's something
to do. That is called socialism. That is called authoritarianism. When someone says you can't sleep outside or I'm going to arrest you. See, that's why Africa is shitty, because you guys don't understand. Basically, you guys sympathize. Then somebody comes in with illegal tactics and you say, well, that'll work because it addresses the problem. There's a lot of layers to this that I think that you're ignoring because you're looking to place the blame on someone who is no longer in power.
Okay, I get what I heard you, but listen, even LA has always have been a mess. Do you remember when the council member, I think his name was Nuri Martinez? Do you remember Nuri Martinez when she get caught up by voice recording?
Nuri Martinez,
telling like a black I don't know, like I know the council member kids, he was like a monkey or something like that.
Yes.
Right. So LA always have those politicians, those leaders with a lot of wrong thing behind them. And Karen Bass, I just believe
What's the difference? Karen Bass's husband is good friends with Nuri Martinez. He's also Mexican. He's racist too. What's the difference?
No, the difference.
You're making it seem like what you're trying to do is you're trying to paint Karen Bass as a good person in a bad situation. Karen Bass is a demon just like everybody who came before her and everybody who's working with her. She's totally evil.
No, what I'm saying is okay, who was the solution for Los Angeles?
Do you believe that Karen Bass is corrupt?
I don't believe Carrizo is going to be better.
No, I'm asking you a simple question. We are talking about Karen Bass. Do you believe that Karen Bass is corrupt?
No, I don't believe Karen Bass is corrupt. But
there you go. So we know that you're not you're not calling this down the middle. Because if you don't think, bro, Karen Bass is one of the most corrupt politicians in the history of LA. Listen, do you know how you fix homelessness in LA?
How?
Enforce the law. If someone has drugs, arrest them and take them to jail. If someone is selling drugs, arrest them and take them to jail.
Yes, but LA drug issue is very complex, man.
It's not. Listen, You've been in LA for 7 years. I've been in LA for 40 years. I remember when you didn't have these problems in LA. Why? Because the drug addicts used to hide so they wouldn't be arrested. Do you understand that if a drug addict is allowed to set up a tent in the middle of Broadway and smoke dope sitting out in the open, do you realize you will get a community of dope addicts doing that? If you arrest 3 drug addicts for trying to smoke fentanyl in public, right? Do you know that that will incentivize those drug addicts to go hide to smoke, which will remove them from the major urban centers of our city? Because they don't want to be caught, because they don't want to be arrested. Because when they're arrested, that keeps them from getting high for at least 18 to 24 hours, and maybe more if they're convicted. We had laws in place which incentivize criminals, drug addicts, and drug dealers to operate in the shadows. Now we've relaxed those laws. Now they feel comfortable operating in the open, which is making a problem for everyone.
Okay, I heard what you said, but
let's enforce the law.
But I got a different view because, like, remember,
your view doesn't count. You only been here 7 years.
Yes, but
you have no frame of reference to have a legitimate view on this. But go ahead, I'll entertain.
Listen to me. Okay, I've been here 7 years, but remember, I grew up in Europe with a social system.
And it's horrible there too.
No, over there, like, for example, if you go to a country, I grew up between France.
So why did you come to America? If Europe is great, why did you come to America?
Oh, I come because my wife is American.
Your wife is American.
Yeah, that's why.
So why y'all didn't both just get together and move to Europe?
Oh, we can go back if we want.
Why don't you want to?
No, we just like the weather out here. That's all.
No, shut up. Yeah, right. Stop lying.
No, for real. No, we just like the weather.
Ain't nobody living in Europe over America, bro. Stop it.
No, you can, bro. Come on, bro.
Okay,
Paris is a beautiful city.
Okay, so let's put the same weather of LA. Where did you come from in Europe?
No, you can go to south of France. It's not bad.
No, I want to know where you came from. Not south
Paris.
of France. Paris is a shithole, and you know it.
No, it's not a shithole.
You're lying. Paris is the most filthiest city I've ever been to.
Brandon, this is a beautiful city, man.
It's a filthy city with a bunch of freaking graffiti everywhere, and it smells like pee everywhere.
No, it's not. Come on, you stereotype.
Okay, so if you have the weather,
I get where you're coming from, but no,
you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Stop lying.
I know what you're talking about, but hey, like every city in the world has its good and bad, right? But honestly,
why don't you? Okay, so why your wife? It's romantic. Why didn't she say, "Baby, let's move to Paris"?
But she just told me that a couple of months ago. I think we.
So why didn't you jump up and say, "Let's do it, baby"?
Yeah, maybe in the next 2 years. Let's see how the political situation is going.
You love living off the fat of the land in America, making that big money.
No, stop it. Everything is not about money, bro. For real.
Ah, here we go. A Nigerian trying to tell me everything ain't about money. You lying now.
Sometimes, I'm Brandon. Before we go back to the topic, sometimes, like, life is short. Like, you just feel you need to live somewhere else because you grew up somewhere and you want to learn something new. Tomorrow I can say, hey, I want to go to Tokyo. Why not? I want to go to Australia.
They ain't letting your ass in Tokyo.
Why not? Why not? Like, people think like when you travel to another country is because you run away from something. It's not. Sometimes you can just move because you want to learn something.
You're traveling to America because America is better than everywhere else. And even you know that.
No, I traveled to America because America, I have these things like I'll move out here, I learn English perfectly. I see another culture.
So you're telling me that France is better than America?
I mean, you can have it. It's not better.
No, look, he's just gonna lie. My mechanic is French. He's actually been here 7 years, like you. His name is Jamil. His wife's name is Celine. He hates France.
No, that's his personal.
And he lived in Paris like you.
No, some people's gonna say they ate LA. No, Paris is
taxes are high. Taxes are high. The city smells like pee. Africans are taking over the entire city of Paris and the whole country of France. He hates it. You know, bro.
Actually, they said Dr. Uma is going over there next week.
Yeah, of course, because there's a bunch of Negroes over there. He said the scam must continue. And now he's going to fly to Paris.
No, but honestly, like, for real, like, growing up in Europe, like I saw a lot of things like that I like, and I saw a lot of things I don't like it. LA have this thing like the only thing really like I saw is better in LA than nowhere else is the freedom. You can sit down wherever you want, smoke your weed. You can wake up in the morning, like end up in Santa Monica and be on the same day at Beaver Lake. That's amazing. LA is an amazing city, and I just feel like a lot of people didn't enjoy the potential of Los Angeles or the way it used to be, because it's true. I'm agree with you on that. A lot of politicians kills the city.
Of
Eric
course they did.
City
People
is
like
still the
Karen
city.
Bass.
Karen Bash, sometimes she's too nice. I give you that too.
She ain't too nice, bro. She's a criminal.
Okay, she's a criminal.
Stop trying to humanize that lady. Karen Bass is a criminal.
Yeah, but okay, and like okay, but what do you think? What do you think the way the Trump administration is handling the mass deportation thing in LA?
I love it. I'm sad that they didn't get you.
Why are they gonna get me? I'm nice.
You're legally here. You're legally here, but we can make an exception. I'm messing with you. I'm just joking.
But the thing is,
I think they handled it just fine.
Yes, but like, and you saw the video when they took it down like a veteran, like a Marine veteran.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Come on, bro. I
No,
think they can.
you come on.
No, oh, look. Like the way they raise.
You love criminality. That's all this is about.
No. I believe. No. I believe. Like you say, LA should be no matter what. LA should be a clean city.
These people, listen, these people knew the risk when they came into this country illegally. Don't get at us about how we get rid of you.
Oh, yeah, but okay. And like, but the way they handle it is like they pull up on people with a tactical vest, mask on.
People have the right to go self-deport, right? They told them you can leave willingly and we'll give you $1,000. You don't leave willingly, you get your. Hey, have you ever been to the club?
Of course.
Okay, say you get in, you drunk or you breaking the rules, and they tell you you gotta leave. You refuse to leave. How they gonna get you up out of there?
By force. No, I got you.
Exactly. So why is this even a question?
No, the way is the way how they target the car wash and stuff like that.
So what?
What pissed me off is like okay, they're raiding those space. All right. I don't believe mentally American citizens want to go back to those jobs. Stop it.
No, you guys always say that. You guys always say that,
man. Because no. Because
listen. Let me tell you this. No. Let me tell you this. I got a bunch of nephews who are graduating from high school. 4 of them. You think those guys wouldn't work at a car wash? They're looking for jobs right now.
I wish. Listen, but do you know? Look. Do you know?
Man, you're not listening. You're not listening.
Okay, go for it.
I have 4 nephews. If you told them, hey, we'll pay you guys $15 an hour, $16 an hour to go wash cars all day, they would do it in a heartbeat. See, what immigrants have done is they've taken away the jobs that our young people used to work to teach them how to operate in the real world. So basically, you had 50-year-old Pedro working in a job that was intended for a 16-year-old kid. And now he's like, I want to get paid more because he has more responsibility. So there are millions of Americans who will work those jobs. But you guys use that lame ass excuse to justify why y'all should be able to come over here, steal jobs. Not you, you're legal. Why they should be able to come over here and steal jobs from Americans by using the lame excuse. These are the jobs Americans don't want. Americans will do any job if they are paid fairly to do it. And because illegal immigrants will do it for cheaper, American citizens aren't getting fair pay. So they reject those jobs. Also, immigrants sabotage you at the job to get you fired. And you was on my show a couple of weeks ago saying that exact same thing.
It's true. I'm agree with that. No. Like, we got a point together. We on the same page on that one, though. No, it's true. Like a lot of in the Latino culture, they have
so is it that Americans don't want the jobs or Americans don't apply for the jobs because Americans know once they get the job, if they get the job, if their application isn't dumped in the trash immediately.
No,
Americans know they will be sabotaged and driven out of the job. It's not that they don't want it. It's just that they know that it's a hostile environment.
Look, my point is like I just wish mentally Americans, like American citizens, are ready to take those jobs though. I just wish honestly, because like the thing I realize right now, especially now like a country like France or like US or whatever, people are mentally sick, man. People are mentally sick, and like I just believe like we lost the sense of reality, and I just believe
you're breaking up.
I wish like no. Listen, I wish like a 17 years old black kid is gonna take over. I want to see that, bro. I want to see that. I want to go,
bro. Listen. Right now, I know an illegal immigrant. He's illegal. He works in my city. He has a contract with the city of Long Beach, paying him $80,000 a year to drive around to parks and empty trash cans. You're telling me you wouldn't drive around in a truck and a pickup and empty trash cans at parks for $80,000 a year?
Who, me? Or like black people in general?
Would you do it?
No, because I don't need to do it. But if people like, I wish some people want to do that, bro.
If you needed a job, you don't got nobody over your shoulder, and they say, all we want you to do, you got a truck, your own truck, you drive around in a pickup, and you empty out trash cans at the parks around the city. You drive down to the dump, and you dump those bags, and you just go home. You're telling me for $80,000, you wouldn't do that?
I'm agree with you. I would do it.
There's a bunch of Americans who will do that. There's American women who will do that. You know how I know? Because there's American women who work at oil refineries, a job that traditionally is for men, dangerous as fuck, but they want money. They need money, so they go risk their life to do that. You got women on construction sites. Bro, I'm telling you, this idea that Americans, look, I'll give you a prime example. Look at the company Chick-fil-A. They don't hire illegals. Does it look like they have a problem finding people to work there? Let me give you another company, In-N-Out, selling hamburgers and French fries. They don't hire illegals. Does it look like they have a problem finding people to work there?
Yes, but let me tell you something.
I'm asking you a very simple question. You go to In-N-Out.
No, you're right about it. No, you're right about it.
Listen, nothing but whites, Mexicans, Asians, and blacks, if we can get in there. People love that job. Why? It's flipping burgers. But what you're trying to lie to me and say is, oh, well, Americans don't want to flip burgers. That's a lie. Americans will do any job if they are paid fairly.
It's true. No, okay, I got you on that one. Let me say something, and we're on the same page. Look, I remember something like, even, it's very complex. Even like at the workplace, like, you know, Mexican,
it's really not that complex, but I get what you're trying to say.
The workplace, for example,
TSM, your phone is breaking up really bad.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, even like a Mexican. Okay, even Mexican kids who are born and raised in Los Angeles, okay, with the Mexican parents. Even them, like when I go to In-N-Out, I don't see too many blacks. Even the Mexican kid and the racist against black kids, they're born and raised in US too.
You see Mexicans and whites at In-N-Out. If you're in LA, it's more Mexicans, so you will see more Mexicans. But if you go to In-N-Out in any other city in LA County, you see a bunch of whites, Asians, blacks, and they're all citizens.
They're all citizens. Even like sometimes you can work a different business, but even Mexicans kids, bro, honestly, they act like their parents. They don't like to hang like all the black kids. Or they will give you to a black kids like 2 days of the schedule. That's it. But he's never gonna make it. No, it's true. Mexican people, Latino people are very like have their own agenda, and maybe this Trump red or Trump policy is gonna change maybe America forever. I don't know.
Who knows? But But thank you so much for coming up.
Of course, man.
Appreciate it. That was a long one. Sorry, guys. Laughing like soccer. Go ahead.
Mic check. Mic check.
You sound loud. You're loud and clear.
All right. Whew, man. That guy was long-winded. Yeah, nah, it's all good, man. Hey, he cool though, man. I actually like his accent. He had me cracking up a little bit, but oh my goodness gracious, man. That mayor needs to be impeached. I mean, straight up. Like that is so many of these politicians are just so corrupt. It's not even funny. I mean, how on earth are you going to be a public servant and you are going to ask criminals to do your job? I mean, goodness gracious. Like you're literally asking gang members to take care of ICE instead of just like, putting forward some type of like legislation to like ease up on immigration or something of that nature. Like a lot.
Yeah, she's a criminal.
I really don't understand how some of these people get into office, but what I think is, well, this is the case for pretty much anywhere. It's not just LA. But I really think a lot of these people, they just get into office, for like other reasons, financial reasons, pretty much. It's because they don't really seem to be solving issues. Instead, they seem to try to profit off of the issues and grift off of the issues. Because Southern California has a problem with immigration, and why ICE is there for a very, very good reason. But instead of just letting ICE do their job, you would rather just try to like antagonize ICE, and then the people who live in your city, who live in your district, they're the ones who are suffering, and you're not thinking about them. And it's just very, very selfish, and it's very unfortunate, and I feel bad for those people who are affected. I mean,
it's messed up. Like, I agree with you. It's just so disgusting when someone gets elected by a variety of different people, different races, ethnicities, colors, creeds. That's not even supposed to matter. But then when push comes to shove, they show that they have more allegiance to their race than the people who voted them in, or than the country that has bestowed them or entrusted them with the authority that they have. She should have immediately. They said they're calling her to step down. They're only calling her to step down to save their skin. But you see the mayor in the next city over, he's trying to defend her.
Yes,
she wouldn't call for violence. You're calling gang members, you're calling for violence. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate you coming up.
Already, bro.
All right, peace, brother. Hot facts. You're gonna be here for a good time, but not a long time. The African dude took up all your time. The Parisian.
Hey, he was hilarious because I was like, damn, he been here for 7 years. I'm like, brother, ICE could be trying to come for you. You don't even know. You better be ducking and diving. And he don't even know about In-N-Out. In-N-Out pays well. And depending on which city you're in, In-N-Out is a great job, especially if you are the man controlling the meat. That dude gets paid the most money inside of In-N-Out. But two major things about that mayor in Cudahy. A lot of you guys don't know City of Commerce, Cudahy, Maywood. If you ever been around there, you go. Yeah, you go see Cudahy, and she was drunk as hell.
Hey, don't get caught over there after dark.
No, don't get caught. No. She was drunk as hell, and you can tell she had something to drink. But here is the thing that she did not realize what she was doing. She was pretty much telling the gangs to start checking random citizens who may be legal there, and you don't know. There could be random white people that work at the parks, and you want to go ahead and just because they're wearing some type of facial cover and they're fixing trees or something, go ahead and get them. Now, the guy from the other city, he did something that was good and bad. Okay, I'm gonna give him credit and debunk his credit right now. He put on the mask and said, "Yes, look, that means I can go ahead and do whatever I want. I do First Amendment audits and other audits like that. They're supposed to identify themselves when they're doing anything. I get that. But what you are saying vouches for what she is saying, that if they see no license plate, you want them to go check these cars. These cars could be just innocent people that you would just run up on, driving up on them, checking these cars, and then someone could be killed, which what she don't understand is martial law could just spark up because of these crazy words that she's putting out there. That will make the National Guard and all them come in here and actually use the weapons instead of protecting the buildings. She's so stupid. And then when she let the cat out the bag, she said, "Where's your leadership?" That lets you know that she's getting hand-me-downs from the little restaurants and everything and getting paid from, Lion Day and everything else like that. She getting money.
Or might just be getting her back blown out by the leader of a gang.
Right, which allows them to control certain areas in the city to where things ain't gonna happen. But she don't also realize is that if that does happen, they can send more people to jail and everything else. And the guy he did one thing good. Yes, you are supposed to identify yourself, but you are now vouching to have people just go and check random cars. I want to get on this though. You said about the drugs.
You got one more
people
minute.
doing drugs. Yeah, people doing drugs in the streets. Now, I know you did a couple county trips. I did a couple county trips. You know that people are snorting Suboxone and all them other drugs, and they just keep giving them drugs once they get in there. And then taxpayers are eventually funding these drug addicts who get out to go to these places that are there to help them get off of drugs. And they are on the corner in front of these places every morning getting high off these drugs. So, it's a sensitive subject. I think we should have facilities for people to be locked up in, to have them be all the way sober, teach them trades. If they can't handle that trade, say that you go do this time. That's what I feel should be in place.
People act like when you go to the county jail, they just gonna keep using drugs inside. Drugs are extremely expensive in jail. If you're an addict who been on the streets and your parents and shit then cut you off, or you just don't have some source of income while you in jail, you're not going to be able to use drugs in jail, and you're really not going to be able to use them to the level that you're using them on the street. So very much going to jail is has a detoxification effect on people. Detoxing effect on people. I remember watching a video where they asked a guy, he's now an outreach worker in San Francisco for drug addicts, and they asked him, "What made you quit?" He said, "Going to jail. I got arrested. My mom had cut me off. I couldn't get drugs, and I did 6 months clean, not doing no drugs." And he said, "Man, I like the way I feel." And he said when he got out, he said, "I just didn't have any more desire to use drugs because I didn't like the way it made me feel." Listen, man, do you guys understand that back when we used to enforce the law, a lot of people got clean from getting locked up. A lot of people are like, "I don't want to use drugs because it causes me to lose my freedom." And people value freedom over anything. A lot of people use drugs because they feel like that's a form of freedom, right? But when you lose your freedom over drugs, you develop a hatred for drugs, and then that sometimes drives people to not do them. But you're gonna.
But you do know, Brandon, you do know for a fact that it's people in there that when they call medical, you go to medical, they coming back. There's people going to these bunks and they sharing all their stuff and snorting it up with other people. Now we do know that there's people in there, but then we do have people that have regular jobs and they go in there and figure out, damn, I'm gonna fuck up and lose all of what I just came from. We got people like that out there that will stop. I just wish we have facilities to stop a lot of that.
I believe that is a very small fraction of people going to jail. I think enforcing the law arresting drug dealers, arresting people who openly who are carrying drugs in public and trying to use drugs in public. Not only will arresting them help them get clean, also it will incentivize them to go back into the shadows, because there's always been a lot of drug use in LA, but people used to hide and do it because they didn't want to get arrested. Now, bro, that's one of the reasons you love living in Orange County, because in Orange County, you don't got to deal with seeing some dude sitting out in the middle of the street smoking fentanyl. But you got to deal with that.
Depends on where you are, because believe it or not, it does happen. Let me ask you this: with that mayor trying to ask for, she specifically was like 18th Street and Florencia. We know that 18th Street. She said names. 18th Street. We know that in El Salvador, them and MS are supreme rivals. You think she's trying to send people to Alligator Alcatraz?
I don't know, but I heard they eliminated 18th Street in Venezuela. I heard they got them up out of there.
No, El Salvador. El Salvador.
That's why I heard they got rid of them.
They're thick. Well, sure? What do you think about? Yeah. Oh, I'm positive. I'm positive. They are there. No, they have a huge, massive jail that I watched a documentary on it, and it is just ridiculous. Like they don't. It's like worse than Russian jails. They put a lot of them there. Yeah, it is crazy. But what do you think? What do you think about the Alligator Alcatraz, knowing that they didn't even do that for supermax criminals here, to put them around alligators and pythons, and it'll be built within 60 days?
I don't know. But I don't really have an opinion because I don't know anything about it, but I'll look it up and we can revisit
it.
Yeah.
No, please look up Alligator Alcatraz. They are doing it. It's at an airfield, and it's for the migrant and the detainees that they are capturing right now. They're making it so that they are going to be surrounded by alligators and the pythons in the Everglades. So that's why they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. So whoever wants to try to escape, you gonna get chomped up and eaten alive. So
I think it's a good deterrent.
Please go look at it, because I want you to do a topic on this. Because I know once you go ahead and look at the pictures and the images and how they're putting it together, they said 30 to 61 days it'll be complete as a migrant detention center, and they're using natural elements, alligators and the pythons, to keep the people at bay.
Crazy. Thank you, my brother, for coming up. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Hey, shout out to Turney Tyke. LA, Chicago, and soon New York has Marxists. It's time to raise eyebrows and forget about the faces behind people of color. 100%. The attempt, we are in the middle of Marxists attempting to take America. They did it during the McCarthy era. They're doing it now. We know what it leads to. We know these people aren't realistic. And we know these people 9 times out of 10 are very wealthy themselves. They're looking for ways to strip people of their power, strip people of their freedoms, and strip people of their rights. That's all socialism does. It tears down society under the illusion of inclusion. It hasn't worked in history. It hasn't worked in any other country on earth. And it's not going to work in America. You got to do your research. You got to know your history. And ultimately, you got to know what you're dealing with. Thank you guys all for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me and this channel. This was a long one. I'm probably going to chop this up and make shorter videos out of it. But I appreciate you tapping in with me. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.